Girl, you are sexy, and that is what you are. There's no one in between, 'cause me and you are one. So stay away with me to another world, and we'll be fly with each other. Uh-huh. Uh, uh. Stay with me. Uh, uh, uh. Stay with me. Choke, no joke. Choke, no joke. Stay with me. All right, you already know. It's the Choke, no joke live. That's right, live. My story from my mouth marathon. The best of. Be here all night. Labor Day weekend. I know a lot of y'all stuck in the house like my girl Michelle and I, just chilling. What up? Good evening, Michelle. And we're gonna get into it. Empress just showed up in the building. What up, Shannon? Miss Brown. Okay, Miss Brown. Looking nice and golden brown. Choke, no joke. I'm here, man. Oh, Jamal just stepped in the building. What up, Jamal? We getting into it. My story from my mouth marathon. A lot of good episodes. Choke, no joke. I'm going to rock out with y'all all morning. This is how I do. Original content created by no other. Executive produced, written, directed, shot all by your guy. Edited, Choke, no joke. Trina, what's up, my love? How you doing this evening? What's going on with your happy Labor Day weekend to you all? All right. So what up? What up? Am I lying? What up, bro? Yeah, let's get into it. Choke, no joke. I'm here, y'all. Let's go. Buen dia.
Choke, no joke. You know what it is. Let's go, let's go. I inspire y'all to all want more. Don't listen to these fakes and these frauds. They don't own cars with Lamborghini doors. When hype show cut, it's back to the store. I was born in the Jackson, this shit was hell. The place where I saw soldiers fall. Some simply for nothing at all. Some cause they lived on the other side of the wall. Now this might sound crazy, love what the hood made me. Poverty made me far from lazy. This ain't the place you wanna raise your babies. Young girls out here thinking they lazy. Nose powdered white, they brain all hazy. Ask them what they wanna be, they look at you crazy. These young cats out here looking all angry. I was just like them, sometimes the music made me act other than myself, no influence lately. Cause behind the scenes, they not living greatly. And I found out that most of these cats never so jack or the penitentiary. Let's go. I inspire y'all to all want more. Don't listen to the face and these frauds. They don't own cars and Lamborghini doors. The hype your cut is back in the store. I inspire y'all to all want more. Don't listen to the face and these frauds. They don't own cars and Lamborghini doors. The hype your cut is back in the store. They not selling drugs, they really not thugs. If they was, where are the slugs? Do you see them when you cop your drugs? Pulling up with S to B in the front? Nah, it's not what they got, it's what they want. In the jungle, we all on the hunt. It's chemical. It's chemical beats. You know what it is.
Choke, no joke. I'm in the building, baby. You already know. Let's get into it. All right.
Yeah, shout to the whole Choke, no joke.
Choke.
Mellow.
Don't run, I'm the police. him industry lessons. Out the door, he come stepping. Look up, it was Officer Reverend. To the staircase, he just jetting. To the lobby, and he flattened. Hit the corner, it was down to the coroner. A lady with a shopping cart jumped right over her. Fleeing like a trap star, here come patrol cars. I'm revving in the unmarked car. Start dumping on Kev, he jumped behind the car. And pulled out before he hit the ground and fired back. And caught the back, or flew to her cap. The Reverend spent out in the wall, he smacked. And while the po-po was on attack, he took his back off the act. Made tracks and got 3 blocks away. That's when the bullets sprayed. They licked shots at him, he licked back and trade. He kept licking that thing until it was insane. He said, okay, I'll give up. Threw his hands up, all to the Reverend.
Yeah, are you ready for heaven?
Kev still cuffed hands behind his back. He kicked him in his nuts, in his face, he spat. Kicked him, so I shot back. Give a fuck if you're the police. The boys in blue, they don't own me. Stop protecting, stop attacking.
Choke, no joke. You already know. We live. All right. My story from my mouth. Executive producer by me, Arthur D. Austin III. Produced and directed by your man, Choke, no joke. Y'all know both of them dudes, right? All right. What's good? What's good? JCN, learn from mistakes. You already know. Ty stepped in the building. All right. Too big for skinny jeans. Dre, what up, Smith? What up, Dre Smith, Trina? Let's get into the first episode, y'all. I'm here. It's a marathon. I ain't going nowhere. So, who should be the first episode? I know how we're going to set this off.
Everybody, how you doing? It's your girl CeCe Peniston, and this is my story from my mouth.
How old are you? Where are you from originally, and where do you currently reside?
Now, Choke, you know a woman never tells her age. But I did come out in the 90s, if that's any help. I was originally from Dayton, Ohio, currently living in Arizona.
Okay. How would you say was your upbringing? Poor, middle class, or rich?
Middle class, but in my mind, I thought we were rich. You know, as a kid, you don't know the difference. But now that I'm older, I understand middle class.
Okay. Did you grow up in a single or co-parenting home?
Co-parenting home.
Okay. What did you think you would be as a kid?
You know, it's funny. I know people probably think this is crazy, but I always knew that I would sing. From the 11 years old, I kept telling my brothers and sisters, hey, I'm gonna be a singer one day. I remember when I first stepped on stage and I did my first play, and I was like, oh, this feels like home to me. So for me, I always knew I would be singing. I always got my education though. I went to JUCO actually. I went to junior college because my grandmother was really into education. So she was like, baby, just always get your diploma because you never know what may happen. But in the back of my mind, I was like, I'm gonna be singing.
So how far did you get in your education?
I graduated with an AA degree. And then right after that, probably like 19, 20, I started getting in the studio. And I got my deal soon after that, and I was traveling the world.
Okay.
You ain't lying, Ed.
At what age do you feel you became an adult?
You know, I feel like transition for me really started happening probably around, I don't know why, but 36 stands out in my mind. I've been through a lot of different changes in my life, and I felt like when I came in the music industry at 21, I was really naive and innocent, and You know, I come from Arizona. We went to Magic Mountain or to Disneyland or something like that, but it wasn't the same as the music industry. So I would say because of experiences and things that I went through at different parts of my life, 36. I feel like my early struggles as an artist were people kept trying to change me from being a homegirl, from being just a regular girl, and me wanting to sing to like, you gotta be this diva with the lashes and lipstick and all the extra stuff. And when I came from Arizona, I didn't know nothing about that. Like at the time, we used to, you know, that little black eyebrow pencil? I used to use the little black eyebrow pencil, fill in my eyebrows, do a little liner and a little lipstick. That was it. I never knew anything about putting extra eyelashes or anything on. So probably changing the girl into the diva who I've become today and understand about the music industry.
Did you have anyone close to you that doubted your dream?
You know what? I was so headstrong, I didn't give a damn if anybody doubted my dream at the time, because I was like, I don't care what you say, this is what I'm doing. And like anybody around me knew it. Like if they did and they came to me, I can't remember because I was just so headstrong about what I was going to do in the world.
Okay. Who was your biggest supporter?
My mother was like my ride or die at the time. She was my biggest supporter because when I told her, I was like, hey, I want to sing, she was like, okay, are you sure? I was like, yeah. She was like, okay. I started doing pageant. I started doing like, you know, a little karaoke contest where you win in $300 for your school clothes that you lay out the night before. I was that kid, like, oh, I got some piggy bank money, you know? Right. So I would say her.
Okay. What about as far as in business? Who was your biggest supporter?
Actually, my mom and my fam, to me, was my biggest supporters in business because they never stifled my dream. And actually, my mother actually became my manager at a later point in my life when I had felt like, hey, I'm not sure if I want to even do this right now. She was like, I don't have many moments like that, but when I did have that moment, she was like, I'm gonna step in, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna learn it and I'll be your manager. You know, I would say one of the highlights of my journey was being able to make history. Being able to go to South Africa after apartheid and being one of the first, you know, black African-American women to go over to apartheid even before Whitney. And it's documented in history was such a blessing to me. I remember standing on the stage and I was like, they were like, finally, and I was sitting there like, oh man, they know it here. And I felt blessed and I felt grateful in that moment. So because I had known the struggle, it was like it had two meanings for me.
Right.
So it would be like that was one of the special moments.
What about the one you mentioned earlier about the charts?
Oh, that was another one. See, but you know what's funny? Okay, so now that I've been in the music business as long as I have, I understand that being on a Billboard, going platinum and selling records is so different now than it used to be. When finally it hit the first time around. So I didn't understand how hard it was to really be on the charts. So when I saw that it finally was on the charts for 33 out of 52 weeks, I understand the amazement of what that is in this moment, even more than then, because when they told me, I was like, I made #1. They were like, oh, you just don't understand. So now I understand what that means.
What would you say was the worst part of your journey?
The worst part of my journey was trying to live up to other people's standards of who they thought I should be. And it continues to be that way. You're doing too much. You're saying too much. We need you to lose weight. We need you to gain weight. We need your hair this color. We need this, we need that. We need your voice to sound like this. There's always a need to instead of like a suggestion, like you're not a human being or person. I think that's where people sometimes get lost. Instead of saying, hey, I got a suggestion for you. Have you ever thought about? It's always like, you know what, you need to blah, blah, blah. And they don't understand you get a couple of need tos 20 times a day.
Right.
But I think it's also you setting the boundary and letting other people know what your needs are. And that comes with maturity.
Without naming names, What was your best intimate relationship?
My second husband. We were together for a long time, and anybody can look it up, so it's no big deal. We were together for a long time. He was a good man. He was a Taurus man too. Good man.
What would you say was your best relationship in business?
Wow. I'm gonna be honest. I would have to say that one of my best relationships in business would be, and he's my bestie, but his name is Byron Garrett. He's my friend. He's a mentor. He is like a business partner with me. When me and my brother's my manager. When we meet my brother, and I say that to say this, my brother stepped in as my manager. He didn't truly know the music industry. After my mom had passed, my mother said, take care of your sister. So he just stepped in position to take care of my business affairs, but Byron was always there. So if I had to say business relationship, would be Byron.
What was your worst relationship, personal?
You
don't have to name names.
It was some managers I had. I just didn't feel like they would get me. It was always an order or, well, you better. It was like they would talk about me when I wasn't there, and I used to piss me off. And they knew it too. And so it was just like, I don't know, I felt like after a certain point of time that some of the managers I had, or that management, started to treat you like a number instead of a person. So.
Got it. Mm-hmm. Overall, what have you learned about relationships?
It's not what you know, it's who you know in the music industry, plain and simple. There is no in between. It's definitely black and white. And if people mess with you, they mess with you. And if they don't, they don't. And if you really want to be in the industry, don't get on the bad side. Period. I don't like to live on regret, so no matter what, I wouldn't change anything.
There's someone somewhere right now that just starting their journey as a singer, and they just merging on the highway, and you 50,000 miles ahead of them, and you saw a whole bunch of potholes in this road. What potholes would you tell them to look out for?
Greedy people, misinformation, not having your own voice. Be authentically you. Make sure you stay authentic to you. Understanding that sometimes you have to take the emotion out of the artistry. And I mean that as your personal feelings can get in the way sometimes. You have to realize that sometimes you're here to make someone's bad day a beautiful day, even though yours was horrible.
What is your focus today in life and in business?
To be a great businesswoman, to make sure that the relationships that I have from this point forward are lasting relationships and relationships of respect, to make sure that whatever bodies of work that I put out, that people feel it in their soul and in their chest. Make sure I'm putting out the right bodies of work. Making sure that I'm always growing and changing. And really being authentic, because I've been in the business now since the 90s. And making sure that when it's time to stop, that I don't keep going. That everybody has their period in their season. And that just to always love it. Always love the music. Because sometimes what happens off stage makes you hate what happens on. And that's what keeps you going. That's what keeps me going.
Right. Okay.
Hey y'all, I'm CeCe Peniston, and we all have a story to tell and a lesson to learn. And this is my story.
Choke, no joke. I'm here, y'all. You already know. Shout out to my girl CeCe Peniston. Much love to you, boo. Nice interview. Y'all like that one? Okay. Jazzy Jeff stepped in the building. What up, Jigga? Jigga Jazzy. What up, Jigga Jazzy? All right. Who else? Wow, I love CeCe. I love me some CeCe too. Queen's DNA. Lady Shay, what up? Pamela Inez, what up? They coming in. They coming in. What it do, Vernon? I see you. CeCe is a very beautiful person. She's like, me and her became so close after that interview. That is my baby right there. She is the sweetest person in the world. Trust me when I tell you. And she can be the meanest person in the world. You get on the bad side too. She is a sweetheart. Indeed, Corey, she do look good. She look damn good. See her in person. She like pow, 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 too good. If you know what I mean, bro. Jimbo, what up? Good looking, Ad Miller. I appreciate that. Evilicious, what up, girl? How you? All right. So, man, choke no joke. We got the My Story from My Mouth marathon going all night Labor Day weekend. Everybody not out on these streets trying to get COVID. Some of us is at home relaxing. Some of y'all burning it up. Some of y'all drinking it up. Some of y'all eating. Some of y'all just laying in the bed, snuggled up. You know what I mean? But I got you. I'm going to entertain y'all tonight. All right? Let's get into the next episode. All right? Choke no joke. I'm in now.
What up, y'all? This your man King Crooked, and this is my story from my mouth. I am 44 years old. That's not my Wikipedia age. But I'm 44, and I'm from Long Beach, California, and I reside in Long Beach, California.
LBC.
How would you say was your upbringing? Poor, middle class, or rich?
Poor. Probably below poor, below the poverty line, the real struggle. Right.
Did you grow up in a single or co-parenting home?
Single parent home. Grew up in a single parent home, moms. You know what I'm saying?
As a kid, what did you think you were going to be?
I always knew I was going to be an MC. You know what I mean? My mom and her twin sister, my auntie Charlene, rest in peace. They put me in the studio when I was 8 years old, and I recorded my first song called Microphone Controller. You know what I'm saying? So no matter what I was doing in this world, I always knew I was put here to be a rapper and an MC.
What would you say was your first career choice?
Music. That was my first career choice, you know what I mean? Like, I saw young rappers getting on, you know what I mean? And I figured that I could too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to be one of the first child genius rappers, you know what I mean? Before we start seeing kids like Criss Cross on the scene and Another Bad Creation and, you know, things like that. I wanted to be that first dude, young kid out there. So I used to always rap with the older dudes and get my skills together, sharpen my sword, because I really wanted to be that dude, even at a young age. So it's always been rap. It's all I know is the culture, period. I dropped out of school in junior high. I dropped out and I started hustling. You know what I'm saying? Try to help moms. I couldn't go back to school because I felt like I was wasting 8 hours in a day that I could be getting money to try to help moms pay the rent, pay the bills, take care of my little brothers. You know what I'm saying? My sisters wasn't here yet. So it was just, I dropped out real early. Started hanging with a lot of older dudes because they was dropped out. You know, a lot of people my age didn't drop out yet. So I was out there with the older guys getting all that game. They was really, mentoring me on how to survive really. And yeah, I dropped out. But then when I turned 16, I decided I wanted to be a music engineer. And the school told me that I had to have at least a diploma or a GED. So I went back and got a GED. You know what I'm saying? When I was 16, I walked in. I was on the East Coast. I walked in. They had a program at Penn State. And I just went in there and took the test off rip. I ain't studied for it or nothing and passed it. You know what I'm saying? Because even though I dropped out, I was always curious and I was always big on self-education. So they was like, yo, we got to take your assessment test to see where you at with it. I did the test. They was like, yo, you ready? Aced the test, got up out of there, got my GED, you know what I'm saying? So that's as far as I went, GED.
Okay. At what age would you say you became an adult?
Man, I felt like I became an adult when I dropped out. You know, I took on adult responsibilities. I had my first child when I was a teenager. You know what I mean? So I had to provide for my firstborn. As a young kid, I was a kid with a kid. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna say I got my first apartment. I think I was about 18 or 17 and a half, 18 when I got my first apartment. And I knew what paying bills was. I knew what, you know what I'm saying, keeping the lights on, putting Pampers on my daughter and, Similac and all that. You know what I mean? I knew what the responsibilities of an adult was by the time I was 17 and a half, 18 years old. So, yeah, man, grew up fast, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. My early struggles pursuing this dream was I lacked the finances. Everything costs money. You know what I mean? And if you the kind of guy that's independent and don't want a lot of handouts, you want to be able to pay for your own studio time, pay for the artwork for the CD, pay for, you know what I mean, whatever you got to pay for, the transportation, whatever, it costs to make music. So the finances was an obstacle for me at first, and I figured that out nickel and diamond, you know what I'm saying? Like just hustling and saving that money and taking it directly to the studio and putting that money right into the grind. You know what I'm saying? That was a big obstacle. The second obstacle was it was a lot of fake Hollywood plastic people in the game. And I expected, because I came in young, you know what I mean? Like I said, I was already a parent, so I'm trying to get to this dream. And I expected people to be real, and I trusted people too soon. And a lot of people was fake, and they had ill intentions, They wanted to take a young dude and be able to screw over him for 10 years. That's why they was looking for young artists, 19 years old, 18, so they can get them all the way to their 28. I'm going to eat off you for 10 years. I'm going to have most of your publishing. I'm going to have your royalties. I'm going to inflate the budgets. You're going to think that we spent $200,000 on this. We really only spent 75 and we're going to pocket the rest. It was just so much fakery in the game that, that was an obstacle because I had to figure out how to deal with that. My pops, rest in peace now. He just recently passed, but he left the crib. So I didn't have no contacts with him and I couldn't really sit down and talk to an older person and be like, yo, what do you think about this contract? What do you think about this move, signing to this label? I would watch my friends in the music business talk to their fathers about certain things, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't have that, so I had to go find it on my own. And I did, fortunately. I found mentors. I found, my homie Elijah Asante. He had a bookstore in Long Beach on the east side, and it's called a Huru Sasa. It's a real, that's Swahili for freedom now. He used to mentor us. He knew what we was trying to do. So he would try to help us out as much as he can, you know what I'm saying? So he kind of like was in that father figure place and helping me get, navigate in my early years with the contract. So that was kind of difficult. Then I overcame that. And yeah, just adjusting to the fact that people aren't what they say they are. And this is the real devil's playground.
Did you have anyone close to you that didn't believe in your dream?
Not really. My mom, like I said, she put me in the studio when I was 8.
Right. That's my next question.
You know what I'm saying?
Who was your biggest supporter?
My mother. You know what I'm saying? Like, So even when we was flat broke and poor and didn't have nothing, and the cornflakes turned into Raisin Bran because the roaches was in the box and the rats and the electricity was turned off and all that, my mom was always like, you can be whatever you want to be. If you want to chase music, I'm going to support you. If I got to take this minimum wage check and put you in the studio, buy you a boom box, get all those magazines you want so you can hang them pictures of Rakim, Cool G Rap, Big Daddy Kane on the wall, Ice Cube, Ice T, Too Short, I'm going to do that. And she had my back 100, and it gave me the confidence. And I seen, because I had family members who wanted to be in the game, but their mother didn't push them. And I seen the difference between what a supportive parent is and what that looks like, and with somebody who telling you, you got a pipe dream. Because my cousins who had mega talent, and I'm not putting it all on their moms, my aunts, but I'm just keeping it a buck, they didn't support them. And, you know, I'm here and they working in, you know, in the work industry, you know what I'm saying? They doing respectable jobs, but I know in their heart they wanted to do music. So, you know, people need to really support, you know, their people, man. It goes a long way.
Cool.
The highlight of my journey, I got a few, man. You gave me one, you know what I'm saying? When you did the Rap City episode, you know what I'm saying, in Long Beach. You know, that's one of, I mean, if I make a highlight reel, that's going on there, you know what I mean? It's some homies that's in that camera frame that ain't even here no more, or they doing life right now. You know what I'm saying? That's memories. That's one of they good memories, you know what I mean? I've been on the Double XL cover 3 times. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people who haven't even been on there once. You know, I was on the cover of Double XL 3 times. I was on the cover of The Source. You know, billboards everywhere. Being on Death Row Records, you know what I'm saying? And learning the game directly from Suge, and learning game from all the people that he had relationships with. So it's a lot of highlights, man. Slaughterhouse, you know. Hip Hop Weekly. When I did the Hip Hop Weekly series, I innovated a way for artists to market their music online. You know, I created a brand new business model. I dropped a song every week in like 2007, 2008. That was unheard of at the time. Nobody ever did that. And then after I did it, I went on a 52-week run. Then, you know, Kanye had Good Music Mondays, and different artists started dropping weekly because they saw my blueprint, you know what I mean? And I take that really, my homie Watson from PSA Hip Hop, shout out PSA Hip Hop. He told me, he's like, your first weekly series is your Illmatic. He was like, that was one of the greatest rap series ever. You know what I mean? So he was like, you know, he opened my eyes, because I always wanted to have a contribution to hip hop, like America's Most Wanted, you know what I'm saying? Chronic, Doggy Style, something that I could say I did that. And I wasn't even recognizing that my weekly series was that. It opened doors for me. It got me paid. It got me tours. It got me on the cover of the First Freshman Double XL magazine. It got me recognition, and it ultimately is one of the reasons why I entered Slaughterhouse. So it did work for me. So the weekly series, I think that's one of my big accomplishments, because it also took the black cloud from over my head. A lot of people didn't want to deal with me when I got off death row, because they felt like, yo, Suge gonna hop out the closet or something, you know. They was like, something is gonna go down. So a lot of labels and distribution companies and venues, they wouldn't work with me, because I had that stigma on me. But the weeklies cleared all that away. So I'm gonna say the first Hip Hop Weekly series, man. Long answer.
Nah, it was great.
Man, I done had some life L's. I done took some life L's while I was doing this music. You know what I'm saying? I done took some L's. I think when my Uncle Leroy passed away, he died of cancer, you know what I'm saying? He was a fire chief of Inglewood, and, you know, one of the heavyweights in the 100 Black Firemen movement, you know what I'm saying? And he always supported me. He's my father's brother, you know what I mean? And he really didn't like the way that his bro dipped out on his family, you know what I'm saying? So he tried to pick up the slack. you know, Christmas, birthdays, everything. He there, making sure we got something, you know what I mean? And as I got older and I got my own place and stuff like that, when I used to have to go try to shop my demo around, back when shop, for those who don't know, because we in a whole nother era, shopping demos mean you got to go up to the record label and play your music in the office with a bunch of suits and hope to God that one of them feel you so they can kind of damn near cut a check to get you out the hood. You know what I'm saying? So my uncle, he would always let me borrow his car, you know, because I ain't have no car. I had to go from Long Beach to Hollywood to the record labels. And he'd be like, nah, man, go buy you a new outfit. He let me get the Acura back when the Acura was the hottest thing on the streets, you know what I'm saying? And I'll push up. And, you know, when he died before I was able to get my first cover of my magazine. I was able to really start having something I could come back and say, look, Unc, this is what I did. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I was robbed of that. So that right there is kind of a low point for me, man. But I made him immortal on the Slaughterhouse song, Goodbye. I talked about him in my verse. You know, I gave it up to him. And we did that song, and people in the crowd shed tears sometimes. You know what I mean? That's how powerful it is. But yeah, man, that's a pretty low point for me in my career.
Yeah, damn, sorry to hear that.
Oh, good, thanks.
Relationships. Without saying any names, what was your best relationship as far as with a female?
My daughter's mother. You know what I'm saying? You know, she stuck by me through thick and thin. You know what I mean? You know, being with a young rapper, just getting a taste of real big money, driving European whips all over the place, diamonds hanging all over the place, money. You know, that's a tough, turbulent trip for a young woman to have to sit through. You know, she had to buckle up a few times because I was out there. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it was times where we split up, and she'll go back, live with her moms in Texas, and then I'll get out there even more. You know what I'm saying? But that's probably her texting me right now. But you know, she stuck with me through thick and thin of everything, man. So, you know, I made sure that when she wanted to go back to when she wanted to get her college degree, I made sure that I was super supportive financially, anything I could do. When she can get her master's degree, I'm right there. I'm right there with you. Get your master's degree. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to support you forever. You know, it don't matter if she across the map. She got my support because she kept it super solid with me.
Okay. What would be your best relationship in business?
Damn, that's crazy. I got some pretty good relationships, man. I got my homie Tony from Hitmaker. Me and him got a super great relationship. Me and Royce, we got a super great relationship in business. Whenever we do something together, we make it happen. Royce the 5'9", me and Joel got a super, you know, let me see. I mean, I'm in business with my little brothers. It don't get no better than that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's probably the best relationship. Me and M had a great relationship. You know what I'm saying? Still do. You know what, man? I got mentored by a lot of great people. And one thing that they taught me is not to burn bridges and to try to always keep things transparent and above board. So I keep a reputation of doing good business. So it's like I got a lot of people that I got good relationships with. Thank God.
What was your worst personal relationship?
My worst personal relationship? Man. My worst personal relationship. Oh, with alcohol. Yeah. That was my worst personal relationship. Alcohol took me on a roller coaster ride. You know what I'm saying? I'm almost 4 and 3 months sober, 4 years, 3 months sober right now.
Congratulations.
Thanks, bro. Yeah, alcohol, bro. That bottle, that, you know, it's like, it ain't no genie in there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it's a message in there. You know how they say message in the bottle? I got the message loud and clear. You know what I'm saying? It ran through my health. You know what I mean? It gave me hypertension, acid reflux disease. You know what I'm saying? It gave me some of the worst decisions I ever made. You know what I mean? And it ruined some relationships that I had to come back and try to repair. You know what I mean? So my worst personal relationship, I'm gonna say, is with alcohol.
All right. What about in business?
In business, man, damn, what is my worst? I don't got too many bad business relationships. I'm sure it's something. I'm sure it's something. I ain't got too many bad relationships in business. Knock on wood, man. Shit. You know what I'm saying? If I could go back and do it all over again, what would I change? I would buy more property. That's what I would change. You know what I'm saying? I bought a couple houses in a strip club, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, I would buy property and invest. I had OG homies telling me to invest, and I wasn't listening. I was like, I ain't doing that. Especially when they would tell me what to invest in. They're like, you need to buy this house over here. Then I go look at the house and look crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I ain't buying that house. What am I gonna do with that? But now the house is worth, you know what I'm saying? Some big money. You feel me? So it's like, damn, I should have listened. So I try to figure out ways to talk to the youth and the young guns and get across to them, because they really should listen, dog. We be knowing some shit, you know what I'm saying? And my OGs knew some shit and I didn't listen. So if I had to go back and change anything, I wouldn't change being on Death Row Records, because, you know, I went to Aftermath and I talked to Dr. Dre, and Dre was looking real interested in me, but Suge was moving faster and I ended up at Death Row. I wouldn't change that. I wouldn't change getting in the Slaughterhouse, you know what I'm saying? Even though we kind of got separated and we in some sort of a limbo with Shady Records right now, you know what I mean? I wouldn't change that, you know what I'm saying? I learned so much in that group, and, you know, I experienced way better times than bad times. So
What's the limbo y'all in?
it's just kind of like we sitting there. Like, we kind of contractually still signed to Shady, but Joe and M had beef for a second, like not real beef, but you know what I'm saying? Like words back and forth.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like Shady's not going to move, in my opinion, on anything that has Joe Budden's voice on it. And Joe ain't going to put his voice on nothing that got a Shady logo on it. You know what I'm
I
saying?
might just have to kick that nigga out the group. Kick that nigga out the group and get y'all money, man. That nigga ain't rapping no more anyway. He retired.
He retired, man.
So
I'm trying to put
somebody else either replace him,
Right.
or y'all just rock. Y'all three just do it. No, he can't stop the show though.
Yeah, I know. Nah, you know what? We trying to get him out of retirement right now. I think he got 1 foot out of it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He almost there. We gonna get him out of retirement and have the original squad rock out. But I do, you know, if I got any say so, my vote would be for him and Eminem to sit down, because I got love for both of them, and I feel like I'm in the middle of that sometimes as far as, you know, our relationships. But I wish that they would just sit down together, and if I could help facilitate that, that'd be great. Whether we do it on Shady or not, I still think they need to sit down, talk like men. You know what I mean? They don't got to be friends. They go their separate ways. That's fine. And then I'll feel more comfortable moving forward with Slaughterhouse. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not on some fuck Shady shit. You see what I'm saying? So I don't want it to look like that at all. I want to keep my relationship where it's at with them, because they got love for me. I got love for them. I want to keep my relationship with Joe. Sometimes you can't have your cake and eat it too, but, you know.
I mean, I look at it like this, man. For one, the nigga Joe keep talking about he retired.
Right.
So if you retired, nigga, we got to move on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And if you stick into that retiring, and then this ain't double dutch, nigga. This
Yeah.
our livelihood.
Right.
Like, you can't jump in and jump out when the fuck you want.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, my nigga, if you retire, then respect that we got a relationship with him.
Right.
And you already causing friction with him. And if you retired and if you ain't gonna do this, then my nigga, it's all love.
Yeah.
But we gotta move on.
Yeah, I don't think he got a problem with the 3-man slaughterhouse moving on. I don't think so. I know Royce don't want to break up the original squad. And I mean, me personally, I don't either though. But I know Royce, he just like, nah, it's just more of an impact when it's all 4 of us. You know what I mean? So it's some things to talk about, but we still all got love for each other. And right now, Royce is producing. So I feel like, yo, this is the perfect time for Slaughterhouse to reemerge and reunite, because Royce, he got the beats on deck. We could just go to Detroit to his studio and we can knock everything out and be straight. You know what I'm saying? I think Joe will get in there. I think he'll get in there.
And then, and if not, and then on the M side, it's like, yo, M, if you ain't rocking with the nigga, just for us, let us go.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Let us go and let us do our thing. If you're gonna shelf us
Yeah.
because of this knucklehead nigga, then yo, let us go for us, for our families,
Right.
and let us go and feed our families if you can't get along with this dude.
Right. Yeah, we got a legacy. You know,
what I'm saying?
we got a legacy.
It got to keep going.
It got to keep going, because
You know what
I
I'm
feel like,
Not
dude,
depriving the fans, man.
we've depriving the fans. It's been 8 years, right? Since we dropped Welcome to Our House. That was 8 years ago. And that was 8 years ago, and people still talk about Slaughterhouse to this day. My thing is, within that 8 years, if we would have just let go of 2 more records, 3 more Slaughterhouse joints, y'all got to mention us with Wu-Tang, NWA, Public Enemy, Outkast, because at that point, we got the body of work. Niggas know we got the talent to be mentioned in the same breath with them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But we don't got the body of work as a group. If we got 6 albums out, now we could come to that table and say what's good. You know what I'm saying? And get put in those hip hop historic books that we want to see. I'm a culture nigga, man. I love the culture.
Right.
When I grew up, it was about, yo, I'm gonna be just like them. I'm gonna be up there with them.
Right.
You know what I mean? So some people might not look at it that way. You feel me? So I'm like, yo, my voice and my vote as 1/4 of the slaughter is, let's work. Let everything else figure itself out. You know what I'm saying? Let's work. Let's put the work in. Let's keep this legacy going. We'll see what's up, man. You never know, dog. We'll see.
Cause I've seen it. I seen it happen several times when artists ain't getting along with the dude that's in charge. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I've seen it with Cameron and Jewels, and you know what I'm saying? When Jim and Jewels started messing with 50, and Cam held Jewels up for years until your flame is gone. You hot, you scorching, but I'm all right, all right.
Right.
Year go by, 2 years go by, 3 years go, 8 years go by. What happened?
Yeah,
Yeah, same thing with Banks and Yayo. Both of them niggas dropped platinum albums.
Yeah.
Where's the follow-ups?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Banks
And we want them. We want the follow-ups.
But when they got problems with the dude that's in charge,
Yeah.
this is what happened. And this is what's in your case. And you, Royce, and Joe, victim of, y'all just got caught in the drive-by because of this nigga. You know what I'm saying? So it's holding up.
I think
years that could have put y'all in the conversation of Wu-Tang, Outkast, and it's because y'all got the content,
Right.
but y'all can't release it.
Yeah. I mean, I think I can't speak for Joe, but if he was here, I would think that he would say that we could have did the 3-man move. He ain't tripping. You know what I mean? So that you have that part of the game. But I think, to be honest with you, dog, we all grew as artists. We got a lot more to say now. I feel like right now we could really tear some shit down. You know what I'm saying? And Joe got stuff to say now. It's been a minute. His fans ain't heard from him in a minute. They're going to be excited that he came out of retirement. They're going to want to hear what he got to say, how he going to put all these stories in the rap form. So we got some advantages. All we got to do is Voltron up. You know what I'm saying? And we be good.
Well, I hope it happens for y'all either way, 3 or 4.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? But I know niggas is tired of waiting.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? You hear me, Em? Niggas is tired of waiting.
Marshall.
There's someone somewhere watching this right now that's inspired to be an artist, and they just merging on the highway to success that you are 50,000 miles ahead of them. And you done seen various potholes in this trip. What potholes can you tell them to avoid?
Negative energy from people close to you. You got an uphill battle. You got an uphill battle. Don't have a downhill mentality because your battle is uphill. Don't have people in your crew telling you you're not gonna make it, you wasting your time, go get a real job. Because you're gonna need a sharp mind and a strong mind for all this shit you about to face. And that negativity could break down your spirit, break down your mind, your thought process. It can make you start getting really insecure about your work and insecure about the future. And fuck that. Stay positive. Keep people around you that's positive. You know what I'm saying? And have people on your team. A lot of the mistake I see a lot of young artists make, they try to do everything on their own. Go and try to find somebody who believes in your vision and put them on the team with you and play team ball with them. Don't try to dictate what's always going on. Sit down and listen to what they got to say. You know what I mean? Because they might have something for you, a jewel. Find that team, you know what I'm saying? And if you on your do-it-yourself level, fine. Do it yourself. Learn about online marketing. Learn about social media marketing. Learn about search engine optimization. Go learn about shit so you can start cracking through the noise, because it's a lot of noise out here. And it's hard for even major artists on major labels to break through the noise. Build your own fucking fan base up. Don't reach for that million fans. Fuck that shit. If that come, that's great. But that's not necessary. You can have 10,000 people. If 10,000 people spend $100 with you, that's $1 million. 10,000 people. How you gonna get them to spend 100? I got a hoodie for 50. I got a t-shirt for 20. I got a whole fucking album for you, and I'm gonna autograph these posters, and I'm gonna put together a $99.99 bundle package. And if I got 10,000 diehard fans, I'm about to gross $1 million as soon as I drop it. Go out and get you 10,000 people instead of looking at, I need 1 million fans, I need 2 million fans, I need to be streaming 1 billion times. If you build a solid fan base of people who are with you, they will make sure that you eat enough to keep putting your art out on your own terms. You ain't got to go inside no office and go listen to some sucker who don't care about hip hop one bit, don't care about your art one bit. He gonna pull out the charts on you and say, well, how many SoundCloud plays you got? Well, how many YouTube views you got? Well, how many followers you got on Instagram? That's his metric system. It ain't about how good you are. It ain't about all them fucking nights you stayed up rapping in the mirror, making beats. That don't mean shit to him. So you go into him, he don't give a fuck about you. Fuck him. Go to the people. It's all about the people. Build your movement up from the ground up, one fan at a time. Engage with people. Don't think you too big to talk back to people online. And you can make a lot of money and have a nice living out here and do it your way. That's what I would tell them.
What is your focus today in life and in business?
My focus in life is to try to just be a better version of myself, period. You know, the only thing better than you is a better you. You know what I'm saying? So my focus in life is, I'm getting older, I'm getting gray in my beard. You know what I'm saying? They say that comes with wisdom. I'm trying to be open to that wisdom. You know what I mean? I want to make sure that, I'm helping people. I want to make sure that I'm providing a service for people. And I want to, get healthy, more healthy. I just told you about how, the alcohol took me through changes. this pandemic shutdown gave me the opportunity to work on my health. You know what I mean? And I learned how to eat my medicine. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of my main focuses in life right now, is to share my story of eating my medicine and throwing away all the pills that was on my dresser drawer. You know what I'm saying? So on the business side, I'm coming with a nutrition. I got a nutritionalist. Shout out Jay. You know, I got a team. We coming with a diet plan, and we coming with supplements, all natural, so we can help hip hop get off the high blood pressure pills. Because I started talking and telling people, because we don't really talk about our problems. I was in the emergency room hella times. I never posted a picture on Instagram from the emergency room. I never told people that I was in the hospital, you know what I mean? My health was failing. We don't talk much about that, you know what I mean? But when I started talking to people about it, I started learning that they had some of the same problems I had. I sat in a room with some of my homies, we ain't even talked about it. And they was like, yo, I got hypertension, high blood pressure. I got acid reflux. I'm going around the room, boom, 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 boom. I talked to Roxanne Shante, the OG. She's like, yeah, I got that. You know what I'm saying? I talked to Joel. He's like, man, I got to take these. I'm like, yo, listen, we guardians of hip hop, man. We can't just try to block out the culture vultures and the suckers and the whack rappers. We got to block out the bad health too. Hip hop is aging. You know what I'm saying? So we got to start. I want all the hip hop, everybody in the culture, our people, I want them to be able to throw them fucking pills out. Because them pills gave me side effects that I'm still dealing with to this day. I threw my shit out. I was able to wean myself off with a doctor's help, and I was able to throw my shit in the trash. You feel me? But I'm still dealing with some of the side effects to this day. You feel me? So I'm trying to put together a plan and put it in an app and put it all, package it up and give it to the people, man, so we can start throwing this shit away. And that's one of my life missions and my business mission. Yo, this is King Crooked, and we all have a story to tell, plus a lesson to learn. And this is my story.
Joke, no joke. I'm here, man. Shout out to Crooked Eye, King Crooked. West Coast, what up? Shout out to the West Coast. Y'all already know. Everybody from Long Beach. Yeah, he brought up that memory for me of when I did Rap City in Long Beach. Man, it was crazy. He had a whole crew, but they held us down. Shout out to all them brothers, even the ones locked up. All my LBC crew dudes, you already know what you do. All right? Keep it crimping, Sean. Keep it crimping. Joke, no joke, man. We still going, man. Very, 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 very inspirational story. Yes, it was. Good looking, Truth Lady. I appreciate you. Joke, no joke. I'm gonna keep it going though. I will do that. Let's take it to Hollywood. All right, let's go.
I'm Lamorne Morris. This is my story from my mouth.
How old are you? Where are you originally from, and where do you currently reside?
How old am I? I'm 36 years old. I'm from Chicago, and I currently reside in Los Angeles, California.
How would you say was your upbringing? Poor, middle class, or rich?
My upbringing was poor. I was born on the south side of Chicago. We moved around a little bit in that area. My mom worked at the post office. And then my father was a drug dealer, so that was tricky because it was like my mom was making enough money to support us. It was 4 of us, but then he would sell all our shit. like he just would. I remember one time my mom bought for my sister's birthday, I think her 12th birthday or something. She bought her like a bedroom set, like a dresser, a bed, like this Disney something like that. And she spent a lot of money on it. And then we went to my grandma's house to visit, came back, everything was gone. Like he used to sell our food. Like it was that bad. We used to have to hide food in the house. So that's how we grew up. So I would say poor. And then once we got out of that situation, it was probably like around high school years became more middle class around high school time. Yeah.
All right, cool. As a kid, what did you think you were going to be?
As a kid, I thought I was going to be a basketball player. I was good for my age until kids started growing up, and I moved. This is how I knew I wasn't going to play basketball professionally. I was in high school. We moved to the white neighborhood, and I was like, oh man, this is about to be a wrap. Like I'm coming from the south side of Chicago. I get over there, but these kids, these white kids going through the legs, dunking. I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna go act. I'm gonna go in the theater real quick, learn how to put makeup on and dance on stage. So that's what I did. But that's when I realized I couldn't. That wasn't for me.
So what was your first career choice?
That's not gonna fuck with you. That sound.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. My first career choice was sports journalism. I wanted to be a broadcaster, so I said I started interning at different places, radio stations, like watching how the hosts do it, the journalists, the people who would like come up with all the stats, the statisticians or whatever. Then I realized how much work that was. I said, with journalism, I don't know how much research y'all be doing. I said, I just rather act, man. I'd rather perform, and then I started doing theater in Chicago. That was it. That was my first, yeah. How far did I get with my education? I got to about 2 years in college, then I left. I went to a 2-year college for theater, graduated that program, and I could have went on and kept going, but I was like, I want to act, and I already finished that program, so let me just go and start doing that. In retrospect, I wish I would have probably went a little bit longer, or waited till I started working as an actor. Took some time off to study more, learn more about business or whatever it may be. But I still might do that. I still might go back to school.
It's never too late.
No.
Adult.
What age do I feel like I became an adult? I would probably say 22. I was probably 22. Moved to New York, so that's when we met. That was a whole different. New York is, you could be 5 years old, move to New York. That's when you became an adult. Because New York, I don't know what steroids y'all on, but I'm talking like my boy would call me at 6 a.m. I'm in New York, sleep, 6 a.m. Yo, what you doing? I'm like, what? Sleep. Nigga, wake up, man. Let's get this money. What? Like, what? 6 a.m. The sun ain't up. What are you doing? Like, so that's when I realized I started to have. I understood what a work ethic was. You know, everything as an actor, sometimes stuff can come easy to you if you're good. So stuff was kind of coming a little bit easy. I would just have to audition, and then everything else would be handed to me. But when you're trying to earn money and you're living on your own, and you don't have your mom to like tell you what to do, and you don't have a template or a blueprint to follow, you got to make your own lane at that point. That's probably when I moved to New York. Yeah.
At what age did you make the career choice that most people know you for?
At what age did I make the career choice that most people know me for? So I started on that path probably around the time when I moved to New York. So I started just being on camera, understanding the business of it, understanding, you know, just camera aesthetics. Just, you know, I remember one time we were in Philly. I'm not sure if you remember that.
I don't know why this is doing that.
But I was trying to interview people, but my mic was all over the place. We got to it. He grabbed the mic like, nigga, put the mic. I was like, oh, damn.
Hold on 1 second, y'all.
I'm Lamorne Morris. This is my story from my mouth. But you know, I still might do that. I still might go back to school.
Okay, I see what's going on here. My bad, y'all. Give me a second. I got y'all. Thanks for tuning in. The Truth Lady, thank you very much for the donation. I appreciate you very much, my love.
I'm Lamorne Morris. This is my story. Like not far from here, this apartment that I have. I'm gonna go to the theater real quick, learn how to put makeup on and dance on stage. So that's why.
I don't know what the hell going on with rare goddamn stuff, but I have to contact these people and let them know. You effing up, dude. All right, we back in effect.
As an actor, sometimes stuff can come easy to you if you're good. So stuff was kind of coming a little bit easy. I would just have to audition, and then everything else would be handed to me. But when you're trying to earn money and you're living on your own, and you don't have your mom to like tell you what to do, and you don't have a template or a blueprint to follow, you got to make your own lane at that point. That's probably when I moved to New York. Yeah.
At what age did you make the career choice that most people know you for?
At what age did I make the career choice that most people know me for? So I started on that path probably around the time when I moved to New York. So I started just being on camera, understanding the business of it, understanding, you know, just camera aesthetics. Just, you know, I remember one time we were in Philly. I'm not sure if you remember that, but I was trying to interview people, but my mic was all over the place. We got to it. You grab the mic, like, nigga, put the mic. I was like, oh, damn, nigga, chill. Like, and then I realized, like, you're on camera. That's it. You're on camera. You can't go back and erase stuff if you don't want the footage. You got to put your best foot forward where you can. And that helped me with acting because, you know, theater has this discipline where you have to be on the whole time. And I figured, oh, it's camera, so they could just edit and do all this stuff, but it's like not all the time. You gotta make, because once, you know, some people say some messed up stuff in an interview on TV, and they wish they took it back. So you gotta be aware. And then so I started that path when I moved to New York, but then when I got to LA, I got on the TV show New Girl. So most people know me from that. And then I was about 27 when I got on that show.
Talk about how you took like a leap of faith on your acting career. Because when we first met, you know, they had you doing the talking head shows, and I remember you coming to me saying, "Yo, Choke, I want to be a comedian. Like, I want to be an actor. I don't want to do this. Can we do like skits and stuff?"
Yeah.
And that's what developed the BET now into us going from just little skits into making it a little more of a show than just tossing the videos. But then there was the time when you know, you went and you spoke to Reggie and you asked him, "Hey, can I work from LA so I could pursue my acting?"
Yep.
And you went and did that, and then, you know, other people, you went and you had to give a cosign, really didn't, and you moved to LA, and then they cut you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo.
I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so proud of you, because when I met you, you knew what you wanted to do, and you wanted to, and you was like, "Yo, help me, you know, pursue this dream."
Yeah.
I remember we went in and you did a show where you actually auditioned for Capone as a comedian, and we made a show out of it. It was real. You know what I'm saying? But you know, that's why, you know, you are an example of, yo, follow your dreams no matter what. You went and thought you got the okay to go move to LA, and then somebody else cut you off.
Right.
And look at you today.
Man. So, dude, that journey was crazy. Going all the way from figuring out the leap of faith part. So it wasn't even supposed to be a leap of faith. It was like we all were on the same page. You know what I'm saying? I got this backing. I got you. I got Reggie. I got people who know how to make stuff happen. And y'all were like, cool. So you know, the whole plan was to shoot it in LA. It was gonna be great. It was gonna be dope. So when I got out here after getting cut, that's when it wasn't really it was a leap of faith, but it was like I thought I had the network behind me. Yeah. And once I got cut, man, that was crazy, because I ended up in my car at some point. I ended up, like, I used to walk down the street, like, and like not far from here, this apartment that I had, it was restaurants and grocery stores right across the street. And I remember I used to just walk like an old dude, my hands behind my back, my head up, looking at the ground, just walking. And cats would think I was just walking, because some people knew me from BET. I was looking for money on the ground. Like, every day. You walk far enough, you can find 10, 15 bucks, and like, just throughout the course of an 8-hour day, I'm sitting there just, I didn't want to be like, I wasn't going to beg people for money, but I was like, it got that bad at one point. And I didn't tell nobody. I was too embarrassed to do that. You know what I'm saying? So then finally, when I would eat every day, but then I would, like, that leap of faith turned to a missed audition. I had a bad audition. And then on top of it, I had another one. I was like, all right, man, this whole thing just ain't working out. And then my last one, I was late for it. I lied. I said I read the script. I didn't. So I just started to improvise and start making stuff up. And I booked it. And I was like, oh, man, I'm too busy reading the script trying to figure out what they want to see from me. But I should be showing them what I know how to do, because that might give them some ideas, you know, because people ain't creative enough a lot of times. You gotta show it to them. So that's what ended up happening. And then I booked it, and then from there, I booked like 7 commercials that week. And then after that, it was like, it was boom. Like, I used all those commercials for a reel, got an audition for New Girl, and that was it.
Cool.
Some of my early struggles in pursuing my dreams were probably, I would say, confidence. That was a definite struggle. You're confident at one end, and then you get rejected so many times that you're like, oh, maybe I'm not as good as I thought I was, or, you know. So that kind of started it. So I would say the failures in this business, a lot of times you're asking people for stuff. A lot of people are creators, like, you create your own stuff. So some people can't do that. So you're relying on other people to hire you. And when you get those rejection in that instance, feels like death. So you're like, man, all these people working out here, and I don't know how to get in. So that was about it, man. Like the the car getting repoed, the evictions from the apartment out here, the bad relationships, I mean, you name it, man. Everything. When I first moved out here, it was like LA ain't shit. I was like, man, I'm leaving. I tried to leave. I tried to go to Chicago. Yep. Tried to go back to Chicago. I was gonna go back on stage. I was gonna hit theater again, just start over. But I had no money. I couldn't get on a plane. I wasn't driving because my car was repoed. So I was like, my mom sent me a few $100s and was like, make this work. And that's what happened, man. I figured it out. So yeah, somewhere early, and I overcame them pretty much by persistence. You overcome those struggles by being persistent, man. Like, what's that saying? Anything worth having, you work at. And that was it. Classes, I used to take acting classes religiously. I would get on a laptop. If I couldn't afford the classes, I would just read scripts. I would constantly read them. And then just, a stroke of luck happens one day where you mess up your lines and then you start improvising, making stuff up. And then they go, oh, that's actually funny. I go, oh, my whole career was improv comedy. Oh, maybe I should use it. Oh, okay, that's what you do. Oh, okay. So that was it, man. I overcame it by just using my instincts and sticking to my strengths.
Did you have anyone close to you that doubted you in your dreams?
Anybody close to me that doubted me in my dreams? I had a buddy. Like still this day, he's still one of my homies back from Chicago. But he was involved in another line of work, and I didn't want to get in that line of work. You know what I'm saying? He used to be back in the day, and I saw the amount of money he was making, and I remember like one time. I remember one time he had bought this dope ass computer, like this thing with all these towers and racks and all this stuff on it, and he didn't know how to use it. And my brother used to build computers, and I was used to like being on my brother while he built this computer or whatever. And I'm looking at my boy like, how you just drop $6,000 on a computer? You don't know how to use it. He was like, gee, when you could afford to buy one of these, come call me. But in the meantime, help me fix it. And I was like, and every time I would go to auditions, he would go like, man, you on this BS with these auditions and stuff, man. And I'm like, yo, this is, because we went to theater school together. You know what I'm saying? He just gave up. So it's not that he doubted me. He was more so like a little doubtful because that coming from where we came from, that wasn't gonna happen. Like, being on TV wasn't a thing. That's for other people, So that's probably one. Then somebody, I wouldn't say close to me, but somebody we worked with used to just shit on me on a regular basis. She hated me. I'm talking, tell me how funny I was not. I'm like, but I show BET now doing more ratings than 106. You know what I'm saying? Like, and shout out to Terrence and Roxy. That's my family right there. But
they canned our show because of that.
Yeah.
Because they said it was messing up the wallpaper show.
Yeah.
Advertisers started calling when the advertiser was there.
Yep. So, that you get that kind of doubt. That fuels you right there, though. That makes you just go like, oh, okay, word. All right, that.
Who was the most supportive of your journey?
The most supportive of my journey is my mom, 100%. Because my mom had a savings, and I remember she sent me a check, and it was all her savings. And I was like, that's not gonna happen. The fact that she did that, I made sure, like, nah, I'm not spending that. Sent it back to her. She sent it back. I sent it back. Used some of it. Things started happening, so that's why I take care of my mom right now. She, ever since I was a kid, she used to encourage it. My mom, that's how my mom is. If my mom see you draw a circle perfectly, she gonna say, you should be an artist. Let's put our money behind this. This kid right here is everybody. One of my nieces, I love her. I love you, Anissa, but you can't draw. Like, you can't. But if you listen to my mama tell it, like, we all gotta get behind this. I'm like, no, she's not that good. The other ones are. She's not that good. But my mom is very supportive, especially of the arts. She was a poet. She still is. She did theater back in high school, and and she started having kids and stuff like that. She got married, and that kind of she didn't, she walked away from that to support us, and then hopefully now we're trying to get her back in it. Yeah. All right. And the highlight of my journey, again, back to my mom, is retiring my mom. Like once I retired my mom, that was like a big relief off of me, because when you're a kid, you're always worried about your mom's well-being. Like she looking after you, but you a man, so you're a 6-year-old man, a 7-year-old. You think you still think you could take care of her. And then when you get older, you see how stressed out she is sometimes when she comes from work, the amount of hours she puts in, and working there for over 40 years. Once I got a chance to retire my mom and get her a house and all that, and I felt like I could then relax, because I was kind of going in overdrive, and then now I could pick roles wisely. I could kind of settle it. I'm not one of those actors that's like, man, I got to be in every movie all the time. I got to be on stage all the time. I'm like, no, I like the way I currently have my setup. You know what I'm saying? I got my brother here with me. I got the family in Chicago, some family out here. Everybody's good. It's a nice setup, and I'm not stressed out like that about work. I don't have the luxury yet of picking and choosing everything I want. I'm not Will Smith, but at the same time, I do get some offers, and I do get to kind of pick a little bit here and there, which is great. So yeah, I would say. I forgot the question now. I'm just rambling now.
That's the highlight.
Oh, that's the highlight. Yeah, that's the highlight. Definitely
What
return
is
my
the
mom.
worst part of your journey?
Man, the worst part of my journey is when I first moved to LA, because that's the lowest confidence I ever had. That's a terrible place to be if you're in entertainment, is to not have confidence. Like, you got to be able to walk in a room, having never have been on camera, but you got to make them feel like you're OG in this business. And when I first got out here, I was super timid and shy and wasn't working, wasn't booking anything. And I remember getting on the bus to go to an audition, and I remember this girl sitting across from me. She had her boyfriend, or whoever the dude was, with her. I'm not sure if I ever told you this story, but she goes, "Hey, can I get a picture with you?" And the dude goes, "That ain't him, stupid. Why would he be on the bus?" And I was like, hey, I hit a wall. I was sitting there, because I was about to get up, because it'd been a minute since it was a year out here. It had been a minute since anybody had recognized me or asked me for a photo from all the BET days. And I was shocked. I was like, oh, yeah, all right, cool. I'm about to take a photo with this fan. And I was like, then I realized I'm on the bus. And I realized, like, they shitting on it because I'm on the bus. So I got low. I was like, this is it. This is that moment that people talk about when that confidence gets to the ground, that cats don't want to fuck with them. And, so that was probably my lowest point. If I could go back and do it all over again, the thing that I would change, I would change the way I structured my life in New York. When I came out to New York, I was like, okay, I got the job on TV already. This is it. That's all I need to focus on. But there are other aspects of the business that I should have been learning. I should have been learning more about what you do. I should have been learning more about behind the camera. I should have had a stronger management situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to my boy Ramses. We were both figuring it out. And my boy Ramses, like, my manager, I was like, cool. And it was just him and I trying to figure stuff out. I'm over here looking at, other cats. They got these powerhouse managers. They were making money over here. They're learning about that side of the business. And me and Ramses, we both actors. We both actors trying to figure it out. We still talk about it, how we should have attached somebody else to our squad who knew the ins and outs of New York and how to navigate, because so much time wasted. It's like New York could be a gold mine if you know how to pull from it. But we didn't know how to pull from it. So we was just, however many days we were filming, that's the only time I was working. Most of the time I was just hollering at chicks. Like, that was it. That's it.
There's someone somewhere aspired to do what you did, and they just beginning. So they just getting on the highway to get to the journey that you thousands of miles away. What potholes can you tell them to look out for?
If somebody's trying to do what I do and get on this same career path and the journey that I'm on, I would tell them to avoid laziness, because when you're not lazy, you're gonna always figure something out. You're gonna learn how to write. You're gonna learn how to you're gonna jump on stage. You got the energy to do it, and all that stuff builds up a book of work. It builds up a body of work. It builds up character. I got real lazy at one point, and I know it. I still battle with that sometimes. I still battle with the being comfortable and going, and then you see everybody else moving and shaking, and you watching TV, you like, man, that's a dope role. How did he get that? It's like, oh, nigga ain't lazy. That's why. And so I would tell people to definitely avoid being lazy, avoid negative people around you. You got to have people that's constantly encouraging you, that's constantly better than you. If you're in a circle of people, don't be the smartest. You got to have people that you can pull from constantly, that's constantly teaching you stuff. I mean, eventually you're going to be the smartest person in the room, possibly, depending on your level of intelligence. I don't know, but you always want to be learning from somebody. So I would avoid the people who aren't. And another pothole I would say is avoid. It's kind of the same as avoiding laziness, but it's if you do see some success, avoid being comfortable. You tend to work harder when you sleep on the floor. You know what I'm saying? So if you got a comfortable life, that's fine, but you got to find that. You still got to find that edge that you need to. It's like when you hear about basketball players. You watch the Last Dance documentary. Michael Jordan over here talking about he making up stories that people talking shit to him. You know what I'm saying? So he could have that fuel to try to compete, because he's Michael Jordan. He's the greatest at that. He playing basketball. He's the greatest right now. Back then, I think LeBron's the greatest right now. But I'm saying back when Michael Jordan was playing, he's the greatest, and so. Ain't nobody to compete with. So he making shit up, talking about this dude talk shit to me, and this dude talk shit to me, and this dude got beef with me, and they're like, we don't got no beef with you. It's like, yes, you do. And so when you're an actor, you got to sometimes find that edge, and I would say being comfortable, you won't have it. So you got to find that. Yeah. My focus today on life and in business. On life, it's honestly, with everything that's been going on in this world, man, I can't help but feel like this it's starting to get a little tricky and scary a little bit. When you notice it, you always notice the racism around you, but when it hits a point the way it's been hitting lately, you're like, man, we back in the 60s and we in the 40s. Like, it's starting to get that aggressive and it's starting to get that blatant. So my focus in life these days is trying to create some sort of change from the inside of our film business. The way they depict Black people, minorities in general, in what we do, can affect the way kids look at us, can affect the way, then it just affects these stereotypes that people put on us. Everybody's like, the Black people are like this, or they like that, and they exclude all the systemic racism. They exclude all the systemic racism. People don't want to admit that. People don't want to face their shame. You know what I'm saying? So how I want to do it in the best way I know how is the way I choose my roles, the sets that I work on. I'm trying to build an initiative right now where networks can, for lack of a better word, better police themselves. You know what I'm saying? Where you got more people, Black people of color behind the camera, more barbers, hairstylists in the union, technicians. We need more people. You need more technicians running the algorithm for Netflix and all these networks, that when they show the banners for the movies and stuff like that, it's so funny. You can tell a person's ethnicity by looking at the suggested things on Netflix. You know what I'm saying? Like, we should be promoting these things already on a regular basis to everybody. And I think it's almost like segregating the material on Netflix. A lot of cats don't know about some of the programming that we have, but They won't know because it's not being pushed by the networks. You don't have a lot of black executives. So even all the way down to the script. When you get a script, there's a lot of stereotypical bullshit in these scripts that you gotta, when you get it, you read it, you roll your eyes and go, okay, now I gotta change this, I gotta change that. I shouldn't have to do that. I'm an actor. I should just get there, the material is good, and we work. But instead, you gotta sit back, you gotta edit, figure out how not to sound too coonish and too this, the way the script's making you sound, and figure all that stuff out. There needs to be some sort of regulator of this. Somebody that when the studios greenlighting the movie, they come in, they read it, making sure you ain't blowing up too many brown people in a movie. You know, every war movie is everybody's brown getting blown up. You got one white dude just killing everybody. Everybody's like, yeah, like that type of stuff is terrible. You know, and we like these movies, we watch them, but we don't realize what it's doing to us, you know. So that's something I want to focus a lot of my attention on. And what was the second part of that question?
Life in that business.
So that's kind of that's where I am in life and a little bit in business, but more so on the business side. I'm just becoming more financially literate. I'm taking more control of my and a lot of it has to do with the pandemic, to be fair, because I'm at home a lot. So I'm at home a lot. I'm like, I can manage my own money. I can handle it myself. You know, I don't need anybody to do it for me. So been spending a lot of time focusing on that, and you know, just planning for the future. I'm Lamorne Morris. We all have a story to tell and a lesson to learn. This is my story.
It's the champ.
Choke, no joke. Chiggy choke, no joke. You already know we still here. We are still here. It's the My Story from My Mouth Marathon. Still going. See something here.
Champ, Shannon the Cannon Briggs, two-time heavyweight champion of the world, and this is my story from my mouth. Let's go, champ.
To the athletes.
It's the champ, Shannon the Cannon Briggs, two-time heavyweight champion of the world, and this is my story from my mouth. Let's go, champ. My favorite all-time great boxers of all time, in no order, but off the top of my head, I'd have to say Sugar Ray Robinson, Muhammad Ali, Larry Holmes, Sugar Ray Lennon, Hitman Hearns. I'd have to say, Julian Jackson, Mike Tyson. I'd have to say one of my all-time great fighters is Roberto Duran. Felix Trinidad, for sure. One of my favorites. And of course, my favorite of all time, Roy Jones Jr. Facts. Top 10. My top 10. My top 10.
Great list.
Yeah, it's my top 10 for now. And I would have.
What about new guys? For the last 20 years.
Of the last 20 years, a lot of new guys I like. I love Badu Jack, Floyd Mayweather, so many, man. David Tua, he was a beast. So many guys that I was a big fan of. That, you know, it's a lot of dudes, man. It's a lot of dudes. Chavez. You know what I mean? Just come on, Chavez. He could go on my all-time 10s. Like, you know, I could put him in my top 10. You know, but my top 5 again is so sick that, you know. Let's go, champ.
How about I name a few boxes, and you tell me they're good or not.
Okay.
Because you ain't named a few. Let's see. Pernell Whitaker.
Ooh, Pernell Whitaker. One of the best, one of the greatest lightweights of all times. Ooh, I personally know him. The first day I met him, I couldn't believe it. I seen him on TV for years. I had got flown down to Virginia Beach by Shelly Finkel, and he flew me down. And I couldn't believe it was the first time I was on a plane. I was in Flatbush at the time. I was homeless. I was staying at a homeboy crib, and the bell rang. It was like 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was sleeping on the couch. I was sleeping on the floor, on the carpet. And he was like, "Yo," it was like, it was an old buzzer. It was 1818 Newkirk Avenue. You know, it was like, "Yo, it's a limo downstairs for you. Come downstairs. It's a limo." Came downstairs. It was like, "Yo, we were trying to contact you. So we would take you to Virginia." I was like, "What?" Here was a card because they had no phone for me. It was like, well, I couldn't believe it. They said, get your bag, you made it. Everybody started screaming. I went upstairs, got my bag. I had a USA bag. I only owned like 3 pair of jeans, a couple of shirts. I threw my stuff in the bag and my gloves. Threw it in the bag. It was like, go, don't never come back. It was like, yo, don't come back. Yo, you made it. I was a limo. I went and jumped in the back. It was like, yo, you made it. Don't come back. Everybody was screaming, bye. I was like, yo, what the heck? I went to the airport. I never been on a plane before. I went on a plane. Took me to Virginia Beach. I was like, what do I do? They was like, yo, go to the airport, go this way. It was Kennedy Airport. And I was like, man, I was scared. I wasn't really scared. I was just like, damn, I was looking at the airport, out the plane the whole time. I was looking like, wow. I was looking at New York like, wow. I was like, man, this is crazy. It wasn't like I had thought about. I just was like, the buzzer rang. It was like you go on a plane. And I'm looking down. I'm like, oh, snap. This is how I feel on a plane. So I was bugging out. I got there. When the plane landed, I came off the plane. I was like, man, I don't know what to do. I'm walking to the airport, and the dude was like, hey, you Shannon Briggs? I was like, yeah. I walked over. He was like, come on, I got a ride for you. Got in the car, drove me to a gym called Waring's Gym. I had my bag, and then I met Georgie Ben, the famous Georgie Ben. I knew him from watching tapes, and I knew Lou Duva. And it was like, hey, this is Lou Duva. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, man, I seen you on TV. I was always like happy talking like live. So I was like, yo, man, hey, what's up? How you doing? Oh, man, I was all happy. And it was good. So I was all going crazy, like, oh, man, this is Lou Duva. Well, you know, And they was looking at me like, this kid is crazy. I was like 18. So I was 18. So I was like, yo, I can't believe it. So they was like, yo, you box, right? So I was like, yeah, this is the kid Shelly was trying to find. This is the kid Shelly. So it was like, yeah. So I was like, they was like, we gonna put you in a hotel. I was like, for real? I was like, yeah. I was like, all right. I said, y'all give me some money? They said, yeah. I was straight up Brooklyn. I was like, y'all gonna give me some money? They was like, yeah, we gonna give you some money. So I was like, all right, cool. When y'all give me the money? They was like, yo, hold on. We gotta get you know what I mean? They was like, can you box? I was like, yeah. So I was like, all right, well, show me the hotel and all that. You know, let me see what y'all got. They was like, all right, well, but I had my headgear and stuff because I ain't even get to the hotel. They was like, well, let's see what you got. So I was like, well, I thought y'all gonna take me to the hotel. They was like, nah, get ready right now. So I just came up the plane. So I was like, wow, that's crazy. So I was like, hey, because they told me they was gonna give me the hotel, check me in. They wanted to see what I had. I figured they wanted to see what I had so they could ship me right out. So I was like, but now, mind you, when I came in the gym, it was a whole bunch of dudes banging, pros. I was an amateur, it was pros, it was banging. Holyfield, all of them was getting it in. Boom, I couldn't believe it. I was in awe that I was seeing them because they was on TV, live at 5. They was getting busy, and here they are. I'm seeing them in the gym. I'm going crazy, man. They came out the ring, and they said, go get ready. And I was in the dressing room. I was in there putting on my shoes. I was like, yo, they're not serious, are they? I was like, they trying to throw me in there with these big dogs? I was like, I was a heavyweight, but I was from 178 to 200. These was the big heavyweights, like men over 200, 220. And I came out, I'll never forget. They was like, yo, come on, let's see what he got. Throw him in there. And I was like, yo, I just came off the plane. It was a Saturday morning. It was like 2 o'clock. It was freezing in there. I can still remember it like yesterday. And they was like, come on, let's see what you got. Move around. So I saw him move shadow boxes. Oh, you move like Ali. That's all right. Throw your stuff on. Throw your headgear on. And I never forget, man, I took 2 hours to put that shit on. I was like, man, I was putting it on like slow motion. I was like, oh, man, I can't believe this, man. I can't believe they're going to do me like this. I said, man, I was putting on it. It took 3 hours, man. They was like, man, hurry up. I am. I was like, I am. I'm doing the best I can. I'm putting it on the best I can. Man, they said, man, let's help him. I put it on. And they put me in with this dude. He was a pro. They put me in with the first pro. He was big. So we started boxing. Bing! But I was nice. And that's when the bell rang, I clicked in. Ding! I started tearing that head up. He was like, ping, 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 ping. It was like, whoa. It was like, yo, hold up. They was like, yo. They was laughing, right? So it was like, yo, hold on. They was like, yo, hold on. You joking, right? They was like, go. I started touching them. They was like, yo, come out. They was like, yo, come on. He was like, yo, he fast as hell. They put another one in there, another heavyweight. He had a fight coming up that week. I never forget this. We was working. I put it on him. Bing, 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 bing. I put it on him. I broke his nose. Bing, 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 bing. Bah, blood everywhere. They said, stop. They was like, yo, get out of here. They said, yo, his jab is a shotgun. And that's what they started calling me. Shotgun Shannon Briggs. They was like, yo, get him out of here. It was maybe 2 rounds. They was like, yo, stop. Nobody touch him. They took me to the hotel. No, Purnell will rest in peace, man. Purnell said, come on. Purnell said, yo, get in my car. Now we're talking about Purnell. Purnell said, get in my car. He was driving nice. He called me New York. He said, New York, come on. He said, boy, he hit me in the car. He said, boy, he said, you did it. He took me to his house. He lived in Virginia. He lived in Norfolk. We was in Virginia. He lived Norfolk. Took me to his house. I couldn't believe it. He had a nice big mansion. He was like, yo, he said, you gonna have one of these one day. I never forget, man. Word is born. I never forget that, man. He took me to his crib. He took me to his crib that day. We walked in. You know, man, I was homeless at the time. You feel me? I didn't have nowhere to live. I was sleeping on the floor. He took me in his crib. I never forget. He gave me a tour of the house. And we walked around. His wife was there. I never forget. I walked in the bathroom, and I was looking around. And he had a big bathtub. And he said, I just remember him saying, you're gonna have something just like this one day in New York." And when I remember when he died, I was crying, man, because that was the day, man. That was a day, and my fear unleashed on them heavyweights. They was pro fighters, but my fear unleashed on them. When that bell rang, and there was so many people there, Meldrick Taylor, all of them superstars that was on TV, and I started unleashing them hands on them, man, out of fear. But I was going on her, and they said, man, everybody was going crazy. Georgie Benton, them came, they grabbed me, and and it made me feel so good because I was so low as a person at the time. I was so low as a person. I felt so low. My mother was on crack. My father was in jail. I was homeless. You know what I'm saying? I was down. I had nowhere to live. And I got a ride that day. That morning, the bell rang. That day, I met Lou Duva, Georgie Benton, Pernell Whitaker, Meldrick Taylor, all these greats. I went to Pernell Whitaker house. He told me one day you're gonna have some. I sparred pro fighters, blood everywhere. Like somebody got shot in the ring. They was like, yeah, I'm going crazy. Me, a nobody, somebody who nobody knew. That day, and then they went and got me a room. After I left, they brought me back to the hotel. They got me a hotel room at the atrium, and then they took me to almost like a supermarket.
Shout out to the champ, Shannon the Cannon. You know what I mean? I'm gonna get back to Shannon the Cannon. But go holler at the No Limit Soldier. All right. Shout out to my man Suave Bob, No Limit. All right. Prayers up for everybody out in New Orleans too, man. All right. Prayers out to everybody in New Orleans. Hope everyone's all right. Keep it going, man.
It's Suave Bob.
My G, Suave Bob. No Limit Finance, man. All right. Let's get into it. My story from my mouth marathon.
It's Suave Bob. And we're in the 6th wall Treme, but I'm from the 7th wall. This is my story. Choke, no joke. From the streets to the executive suites, once you sign the dotted line, Suave Bob to stole your mind. And when I hook up with Choke, no joke, it ain't no joke, baby. It's over with. All right. Bobby Sordy Jr., a.k.a. Suave Bob, a.k.a. the businessman. The American dream is what we all live for. I experienced it. To know that it's still going on, that dream, whether I'm a part of it or not, I'm still a part of it because once you're a part of something, you never leave it. Right. It's in your heart and instilled in you. Even though you're not physically with it, right, it's a part of you because you know you was there when it started. Or you know it was there now, still going on. And that's what makes me feel great, that the American dream is still going on. Man, I feel fantastic. Man, Master P, traveling the world, meeting people that I would never meet, and still having the relationships today with those same people that I met along the way. Traveling the world, there's nothing that could beat it, man. And seeing different things in life and experiencing those things in a different way and different higher heights and levels. Because you could go somewhere in a taxi cab, but you could go somewhere and get picked up in a limousine, that's a different way. The worst moment of the No Limit journey.
Your journey.
The worst, the worst moment of my journey was a downfall going to prison. Not once, but twice. For marijuana, weed, hemp. That's a healer. I am a marijuana activist. So I'm a strong believer in herbs that heal people. Just like Dr. Seaver said, and how he did, and how AKA R.I.P. Nipsey Hussle did, and lived for to spread the word of health. There's nothing more important. And the worst journey was when I went to prison. My daddy died. He told me, "You got this?" I said, "I got it." I said, "You got it out there?" I'm locked up behind bars. I'm on the phone. He said, "I got it." He ain't have it. God bless his soul. Ain't nothing more worse than that. Going to prison and losing your father. But then I come home. You think I learned something. To know better is to do better. I'm 20 months home. I'm still on parole. My 96-year-old grandma died. It was a double doozy for me to lose backbones to your family in your life like that when you become a man, I would say. Because death, back then, I lost a great aunt. 2 weeks later, I lost a grandpa. 2 weeks later, I lost another grandpa. I never took kind of death. But I thank God for bringing me through the prison system. I thank God for taking my daddy, taking my grandmother, or them dying from natural causes of death. Because now I'm able to overcome death. And I'm able to see it in a different light that is no longer of darkness, it's of a marvelous light. Because when you've lived this earth and paid your dues and spread your wealth to those in your generation, that's what makes you the man that you could be or will be and continue to be to this day. Amen. If I could go back and do it over, the changes I would make in my life would be to think and become a thinker and make better choices that I made, that I didn't make, and to appreciate life in reality, to know that it's real, because the choices and the decisions that you make could take your life, make your life, or break your life.
There's someone somewhere right now watching this, and either they want to be a banker or they want to be a CFO or A&R, you know, and they're going through the same journey you went. They're on the same road, but they hundreds of miles behind you. What potholes can you tell them to look out for going on that road to get where you at?
First and foremost, the biggest pothole is their health, what they intake in their body, how they eating, and how they living. If they running at 24 hours and not eating, catching fast food on the road, that's bad. Health. And the other pothole, I gotta say, if you don't have your faith in the man above, God Almighty himself, because there's only one God, one true love, and give thanks and praise every day, no matter what you're going through, not haphazardly, because I was doing it haphazardly. and it didn't work. It brought me to brick walls because I leaned on my own understanding and thought I was the man. I could do it because I had the money. I had the power to say this or do that and do whatever I needed to do. None of that matters. If you got your health, you can live long life. If you got God first, you can do anything. All things are possible with him. Nothing is impossible. I read the Bible every day or I pray every day. Every day. I don't miss a day now. Thanking God, giving all my thanks and praise. And if it's the universe, if it's your meditation, whatever it may be, there's only one true God, one true love. Pray every day. Never miss it. And you'll never have a pothole in the stomach. You're going to have a few trials and tribulations, but it ain't going to be no major brick wall. Death, we all born, we all got to die. But everything else you'll be able to handle. Today, my focus on life and business is patience. Without it, life wouldn't be right. Business, you ain't gonna make it. You gotta think things over. And I call it the BFFS. And I wrote a book, The Basic Formula, Format, and Structure, about life and business. To be able to put the basics in a formula, put them in a format, and structurize. Because you're gonna either live in cruise control or autopilot. Cruise control, you still gotta steer the wheel, but your feet off the pedal. Autopilot, I ain't touching the wheel, I ain't touching the pedal, I ain't touching nothing. And in life and in business, that's where we need to be at, the ultimate goal. Bobby Sauter Jr., aka Suave Bob, aka the businessman. We all have a story to tell and a lesson to learn. And this is my story. Where we at? We in the NO, New Orleans. We in the 6th Ward Tremé, and I'm from the 7th Ward. But guess what? We standing behind in front Willie Mays Fried Chicken. Voted America's best fried chicken. All right, you heard him, baby.
Shout out to my man Suave Bob. You already know. No limit. Shout out to the whole NO. Shout out to all my people out there in New Orleans, Louisiana, every parish in Louisiana. Shout out to all y'all, all right? I hope everybody's doing well out there. Prayers for those that had any type of devastation. But know that we got much love for y'all out there in New Orleans. I think we should take it back to the ladies. Let's talk to the ladies for a minute, all right, fellas? Ladies, y'all with me?
Hello, my name is Issa Allen, and this is my story coming from my mouth. So I am 40 years old. I'm originally from Nicaragua. I came over here when I was 1 year old to Riviera Beach, Florida, and now I reside in West Palm Beach. I would say that my upbringing, hindsight looking back, we were in the poor class, but I didn't know I was poor. then. Can I continue? Sorry.
No, you can continue if you got more.
I was going to.
Yeah.
So I was raised by a single mom that raised 6 kids on her own, no father, and she had to work 3 jobs on her own to take care of all 6 of us.
What did you think you were going to be as a kid? As a career?
As a child, I always wanted to be a veterinarian, but it always changed, like every 5 years.
What was your first career choice?
Growing up, my first career choice out of college, I wanted to be a teacher.
How far did you get in your education?
So I completed my AA degree in becoming a teacher, and then I switched over, realizing that I wanted to be a teacher, but they didn't get paid enough or well enough. So then I switched over to becoming a real estate agent. I passed the exam for the real estate exam, and I got my real estate license in 2008, just when the market crashed. So I ended up now going back to school to become a nurse. And then I did my 2 years of the beginning part of your nursing degree, and then the remaining 2 was your clinicals. And when, for your first day of the clinicals, they asked you to do live trainings, like one-on-one, and you had to like stick yourself or stick someone else. And at that moment, I realized, okay, that wasn't for me. In my education, I've completed my master's degree in counseling and psychology, and I now have my own business in counseling. It's called Social Age Counseling, and then I created a nonprofit to promote mental health in the minority communities called Mind Over You.
At what age you say you became an adult?
Ooh, I would say I became an adult at the age of 28, because I believe that the age 18 doesn't make you an adult. I believe that when you are able to pay your own bills and be responsible for your own stuff that you have going on, that's when you become an adult.
At what age were you when you made the career choice that most people know you for?
I'm 40 now, so 30.
What career was that?
A therapist.
What were your early struggles pursuing your dream, and how did you overcome it?
So being raised by a single mom, we didn't have much, and I had to, at a young age, learn how to maneuver life on my own and fend for myself. So there was no college fund, there was no, inheritance or bank account money set aside for me. So I had to just kind of figure out ways how to put myself through school and all the different career choices that I've chosen.
Did you have anyone close to you that doubted you or didn't support you?
Yes, some family members doubted me and didn't support me.
And who were your biggest support system?
My mom. My mom has always been my rock and my support system in doing just that kind of foundation for me to continue to doing whatever it is I put my mind to. The highlight of my journey and what I do is to helping others to fulfill their challenges and come from one point to where they feel like they're blocked or they just can't move forward or they don't have any hope. And it's to help them see that there is hope and fill them with skills and techniques to continue their journey and what they are able or born to do.
And what would you say is your highlight in your life?
My children. The worst moment of my journey, I really don't feel like I have a worst moment so far. except for the fact of maybe just losing some close family members along the journey that I thought maybe I'd share most of my life with. If I could go back and change anything in my life, it'll be nothing. I wouldn't change a thing.
Right now, there's someone watching this that is just that's inspired to do what you did. What potholes can you tell them to look out for in their journey on the road that you in?
People that will doubt you, or people that are a negative influence, maybe not by choice, but just because they didn't fulfill challenges or dreams in their own life, they make it so that you feel that you can't fulfill your own dream. So to never listen to anyone and continue to fulfill your dreams and stay around positive people that will help you to fulfill your dreams. Hello, my name is Issa Allen, and this is my story coming from my mouth.
Choke, no joke. Chiggy choke, no joke. Choke, no joke. Chiggy choke, no joke. Just went down to South Florida. Shout out to Issa Allen. Check out on Instagram, officially Issa. For those, that know people that may need some type of help when it comes to like mental health issues and things like that, she's the person that you should talk to. You should follow her on Instagram. Check out, she got a show, and just see the stuff that she talked to. If people, or you deal with people that have mental health issues, she's a good person to follow for different solutions and different ways of dealing with situations that may affect your life. All right. Shout out to Issa. Choke no joke. You already know. I told you. It's a marathon. Let's take it back to the West Coast. You already know who it is.
Choke no joke, no joke, no joke. You know what it is.
In 900 feet, turn left on 12th Street.
What up, world? This is Mr. Fab representing Oakland, California. We all have a story to tell and a lesson to learn. This is just my story. The arrow way, not the other way.
West Coast. West Coast, stand up.
Check it out. Choke no joke. Learn from mistakes. DJ that's the great. It ain't no telling you be a first time felon. No telling when you be a first time felon. It ain't no telling you be a first time felon.
Yo, what's going on? It's Mr. Fab, and this is my story coming out of my mouth. What's going on? Oakland, California representative, born and raised in Oakland, California. How old am I? I don't know how old I am. I don't know if I want to tell my real age on this thing, man. You're never supposed to ask a king his age, man.
How would you say was your upbringing? Poor, middle class, or rich?
Shut the door. The way I was raised, growing up in Oakland, California, we were poor, but didn't realize we were poor. And why I say I didn't realize I was poor, because my mother did the extra to fill in the void of which was left in the infancy. I lived 2 parts of my life before I reached an adult. I had in my adolescent ages and a childhood, in the infancy stages, my mother was on drugs and my father was on drugs. And my mother would do, she would give her money to the dope man before she gave it, to take care of her family and provide for her family. And once my mother got clean, she made a vow to spoil me beyond measure with whatever she could do. So she would work 3-4 jobs to take away the reality that we were actually poor. And living in the buildings, living in Section 8 homes and things of that nature, you really didn't realize that you were poor, because when I looked up, I had everything that a child wanted. I had all of the brand new Jordans, I had the video game systems and things of that nature. But as you get about 16, 17, you begin to realize, wow, we really are poor. You start to analyze your neighborhood and doing an analytical dissectomy of your neighborhood. You start looking at it like, wow, my neighbor, this person's on drugs, and I'm in a real low income environment, and we actually are poor. But my mother did a great job of disguising it, and I'll forever honor her for that.
All right, cool. Did you grow up in a single or co-parenting home?
My father died. I grew up in a single mother home. My mother, a single parent home. My daddy died when I was 11 years old, 12 years old. He died to complications with HIV. And my mother did the best that she could of being a great mother, father. She married when I was around 13, and I have a wonderful stepfather that's still alive to this day, who was a blessing, because he took up a woman that had been going through a lot of things. He dealt with a lot with my mother. My mother was a hard act to follow, and she was someone who came with a lot of baggage. And he did a great job, man. He was and I credit him for that till this day. And you don't normally see a lot of people giving credit to their step parents because of, they're not their biological parents. And so the respect level is not always at the highest level, but I have nothing but the utmost respect for my stepfather, because here it is, a man who came in dealing with a woman that was recovering from drugs, and she had her demons, being very overprotective of her only child, where in many cases and scenarios, she would put me before him. And that's very challenging for a man to deal with when you're marrying a woman. So my mother put him through a lot of stuff, man, but he stayed there, he stayed firm, and he's a man's man. He told me the gift of getting up every day, of going to work. I've never seen him not go to work. I'm talking about, this is a guy that worked every day, who didn't drink, who didn't smoke, who didn't have any vices, that was visible for a youth, a negative influence. And he was a great man. And he showed me what it was like to go work for what you believe in. And he got up every day and he worked very hard, and took a lot of responsibilities that he didn't have to take. And I respect him.
Remember Shaq had that joint about his stuff.
Oh, for sure. That was one of my favorite songs. I'm Outstanding by Phil. Yeah. Most definitely was one of my favorite records.
As a kid, what did you think you were going to be in life?
Once I set my mind on what it is that I wanted to be in life, that's what I drove for, and I tried to continue to push forward towards that. I mean, early in the ghettos across America, everybody wants to play sports. So it was, hoop dreams, and it was, those sports dreams that as you get older, you begin to be like, well, school, money, hustling, girls, really different distractions that challenge your discipline. But once I set my mind on saying that this is what I wanted to do musically, I wanted to be a writer, I wanted to be an author, I wanted to be some form of influencer with my, in the position that I was in through words. And once I set my mind on that, man, I've been on it ever since.
What would you say was your first career choice?
My first career choice was basketball, but that was a dream. I think that when we're young, we confuse dreams for career choices. Now, that would be a career of preference if that's something that we wanted to do, but it's not a career until you're able to be paid for it and until you're able to reap the benefits of that labor. But we all had childhood dreams of, taking it to the next level of being a sports, someone involved in sports. And we all played sports growing up. But I think I had my mind set on wanting to be an artist, entertainer, 15, 16. 14, 15, from drama classes and a lot. And my mother invested in that. My mother invested in, one thing about her, she invested in me and my dreams. So it was never about how was I going to fund them. It was always just going after them. And that's something that even made me feel more passionate about following them once I got on that course.
How far did you get in your education?
I went to college. Graduated high school, went to college. I took classes at college. African American Studies minor, very, and then I did curriculum on my own of building from an education. You know, you go through where we're from. We go through the Bay Area is the home of revolution. It's the home of people that challenge the status quo and the social digest and the social unjust. And many of us developed. We're children of Huey Newton. We're children of, you know, the Black Panther Party and other social groups that go against the reform of, you know, what's going on with the normal. So during those school times, I was like, well, I'm not going to go into the systematic form of curriculum. I'm going to create my own education of self-educated. You begin to dive into that. And so I stopped going to school, just picked up like personal studies, but I would study like I was in school. You know what I'm saying? I would study like I was in school. So I think a high school diploma with a lot of credits in college that I could finish if I feel like going back.
On the sidebar, like you said, like y'all from, you know, school at UEP. Is that kind of the reason why it's not a strong gang presence in Oakland? Like y'all police your own, kind of like, because I'm sure it's probably gangs here, but it's not heavy as it is other places.
Well, there's no gangs here in Oakland. There's no, well, the gangs that people have known to understand, like when we talk about Bloods and Crips,
right.
Talk about, you know, P-Stones, GDs, and things of that nature. There's none of that is here. Now we have blocks and hoods that have formed gang ties, and from a distance it would look the same. It plays out in the same characteristics of gang members. And now with the culture of all of the young guys always gang this, gang that, it can be confused for that. But you must understand, in the infancy stages of the Bloods and Crips, they're offsprings of the Panthers. There were community organizations that were created in the curation to protect their communities and govern their own communities. So the offspring of the Bloods and Crips were from Black Panthers, and they stood for other things. It was like brothers against, like it was certain different things. Like the original meaning of what Crips meant and what Bloods meant were about community reform, about Black men protecting and governing and policing their own communities. And so they're the offsprings of the Black Panthers. And from Huey Newton here to Bunchy Carter in LA, you see similarities in their movements, but the Bloods and Crips were never able to infiltrate here, the politics of Oakland, because of a strong Black Panther uprooted, socially conscious brothers that were here.
At what age do you feel you became an adult?
I didn't become an adult till my mother died. And my mother died when I was 27, 28. And the reason why I say that is because I knew that I would always have a crutch and a cushion. And in life, crutches and cushions are those points where we never fall and fully hit the ground. We never hit the asphalt. We always have something to hold us down. There's a mattress there. When my mother died, it removed the crutch and the cushion. And the reality of I had no one to fall on, that I had, if I failed, then I would fall and hit the concrete. I began more mindful of my steps, and steps became calculated after that, because it wasn't just reckless living. It wasn't just moving. It just wasn't, oh, I could do this. And at the end of the day, I know right or wrong, heaven or hell, my mother's going to be there for me. And when she died, that was removed from me. And that made me address adulthood like I had never addressed it before in life. And I feel like that's the age that I became an adult. Responsibilities of just simple things, even as paying bills. Like I would always, nowadays we have auto pay and things like that. We got auto pay, but my mom was auto pay every month. Take this. She pay all the bills, do all the, secretarial work and things of that nature. But once that was removed, it was more so like, oh damn, I owe $700 on this. Oh, I got to pay the bill. And it wasn't that I didn't have it. It's just you're so used to having that program. When that program was removed, I had to look adulthood in the eye, and it was very challenging because for so long my mother was not only my best friend, but we had a mother-son relationship, a brother-sister relationship. It was, we played several different roles, and we grew up together. My mother had me when she was young, so we grew up together. So it's very different when you're dealing with those kind of situations in a maternal type situation with moms. It's tough. So I said about 27, 28.
At what age were you when you made the career choice that most people know you for?
15 when I decided that rap was what it was that I wanted to do.
What were the early struggles pursuing your career as an artist, and how did you overcome it?
Well, early struggles are no different than in any other field of career of choice. You deal with the fear of climbing. Where we're from a city where people are afraid to be successful due to the fact that everyone that we see that is successful, they're killed, or they're jailed, or they're in prison, or they're robbed. So when people become a victim of their own success, then they're isolated in solitude. And no one wants to live like that. What is the beauty of having everything in the world with no one to share with? So many of us are afraid of climbing up the success ladder due to that, to how we will be perceived. So those are very challenging stigmas that plague inner city America. And I won't even just limit it to inner city America. This is worldly things. People are afraid to be judged. People are afraid to be embarrassed. People are afraid to be scrutinized. And those are things that are very challenging. Those are some things that we deal with. It's very turbulent, trying to figure out, is this what I really want to do? The difference between dedication and will this hard work pay off? The doubt. And in any career choice, these are things that prevent other people from climbing up. Some people they aren't able to hurdle those obstacles. So adversity is very challenging to some, but you have to dedicate yourself on just moving forward, no matter what, through the good and through the bad.
Did you have anyone close to you that doubted you as an artist?
I think a lot of people doubt you. And it's not so much about doubt from a negative point of view. It's just no one makes it from where we're from. So what makes you so special? And I don't think that they doubt you to the level of, well, not the close ones, the skepticism of people who will be just negative. That's just who they are. But your close friends are just like, yeah, it's cool, I believe you. And then when you're the only dreamer of your clique, you want everybody to share your dreams. But as you get older, and if those dreams aren't including them, then they have to do their own thing. And when reality hit, some of my friends had children early. Some of my friends had other responsibilities that impacted them far more than what my dreams were able to provide at that time. They had to go do what it was. Some of my friends became men earlier than I did due to the abundance of responsibilities that was thrown upon them. So they had to do what they had to do to take care of their families, to take care of themselves. So as they ventured off, it wasn't doubt. It was just, I got to deal with life. I can't just live on and hang on to your dream. I like to look at myself like Peter Pan. Sometimes I stay in my own world and I feel like everybody's going to always just be in my world. And I could fly around all day with the Lost Boys, with the homies, and I could laugh and I could giggle, but everyone doesn't have that luxury. And everyone that doesn't have that free of responsibility to dream and live and vicariously through imagination. Everyone doesn't have that. And I had to humble myself to my friends, to the women in my life that I've dealt with, that you would think would just wait around and linger for you when they move forward in their life. Emotionally, you're attached to them, but it's selfish because you want to be attached to them, but you're not allowing yourself to see their progression. They only get a chance to watch you grow, but you're not allowing them to grow. And it's actually staggering, and you're stagnating people in your life. And if you really truly love someone, you have to allow them to be emancipated. And if they come back, then that's what was meant to be. But those are the things that go through. So doubt is relative when speaking of it, because sometimes we're just suspects of situations.
Who would you say was your biggest support system?
My mother was my biggest supporter. No matter what I did, like I say, right or wrong, wrong or right, she was my biggest fan. And she was my biggest promoter, my biggest fan, my biggest critic. And it wasn't even critic as far as criticizing. She would criticize me or critique me when I wasn't on my game. It wasn't about her critiquing my art. It was more so about her critiquing when I would get lazy or when I would become comfortable or when I would advocate away from situations that would move me forward, that would limit the forward trajectory of which I wanted to be. And when she saw that, she would call me out on it. So she was a life coach, friend. She was everything, and my biggest supporter.
Outside of your family, who would you say, and as far as business or in the entertainment field, were some of the people that supported you to help you get to success?
I'm a product of a huge support system. My whole city is behind me. And initially it wasn't always like that, because you got to grind, but you got to go claim your spot. And once you claim your spot and they see that I come from Oakland, California, man. So it's just, anybody just can't rep Oakland. Like, they're going to do a real tough background check on you. And it's going to be like, hold on, hey man, you ain't from Oakland. You grew up 2 miles outside the city, or, it gets serious here. But once you show that you're dedicated and you're proven to claim what it is that you're representing, and you get the right nods from certain individuals, they get behind you. So fortunate enough at this time in my career, I got the whole city behind me. So the support system is great. I'm talking about from prison politics to street politics to certain things that leave you exempt from the normal scrutiny that others may have to go through. Hold on, bro, that's fat. Be cool, bro. Watch out. You good, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? Climates where most people are not good at, and that's humbling, but it also comes with responsibility. And as we step into phases of our purpose, we must adhere to the responsibility that is at hand. Many people shy away from responsibility because they lack leadership qualities, or they lack the discipline in leadership. So it's definitely something that grows us up. It matures you fast to be able to accept that. Because when you accept the love, that means that you're accepting the responsibility. And people may love you for now. You have to understand that. Because the same people that clap for you will be the same people that boo you. So you can't get caught up in emotional tirades.
What would you say is the highlight of your life and in your career?
The highlight of my life is having a daughter. Has nothing to do with my career. My daughter came to me at a time where my mother was dying, and I was emotionally distraught. I didn't have that crutch or that cushion to lean on anymore. And my daughter came, and now the roles have transferred. So instead of me looking for a crutch and a cushion, I became the crutch and the cushion for her. So it fulfills a role much bigger than me looking for someone. Now I know that someone is looking for me. So I have to be mindful of the things that I do, and I have to be responsible in my acts of leadership, not only as a father, but just basically living, because one slip up can cost you everything. And especially in these deadly waters, one slip up, you'll lose everything. And we're living in the times today where one post on social media can ruin something that it took you 50 years to build. So now I feel like that's my greatest accomplishment of being involved in my daughter's life.
What would be the highlight of your career?
Highlight of my career is still being able to be here. That's a highlight. That's a reward in itself, to be able to say I've been doing this for 20 years and I'm still here. I've never had a job. I've never been to jail. I've never had to sell crack. I've never had to do anything to compromise my dream. I've been living my dream. Never had a job, never worked for no one. Everything that I've done in my life has been funded by my dreams. That's a highlight. You know what I mean? Now, here and there are moments of memory that we clap and we give ourselves dap for, we pat ourselves on the back, and, you know, I'll be fond of those memories. Platinum records of songs that I've wrote for other individuals and different things, tours and worldwide, and, you know, doing things of that nature, things that I credit myself for. I'm not here to advertise my accolades, but I'm appreciative of them. But I think through the midst of all of that, the greatest accomplishment is to still be here, to persevere with the endurance, and still looking forward, and it's still looking promising.
What was the worst moment of your journey?
Worst moment is losing my mother, burying my mother dying in my arms. My mother plays a significant role in my life. You know, there are times where I've prayed to her instead of God. You know what I mean? So it's the roles are weird like that when you're dealing with an only child. And like I say, I grew up with her. So that was the worst moment of my life. And I feel like there can be no bad days in my life because that was the worst day of my life. So anything other than that can never top me putting my mother dying in my arms. Nothing can be worse than that. And so I'll deal with anything else.
What about in your career?
A few bad moments, turbulent moments in a career of a young dude who I'm very confident. I'm very confident. I'm confident in everything that I do. I think my confidence was built when I utilized confidence as a way to embrace my insecurities. Many of us are insecure about certain things and we shy away from them instead of embracing them. But the balancing of being insecure is you have to be confident and you have to be embracive in the things that you aren't sure about. And the first step of that is admitting it. Admitting that, you know, you may not be good in this area, you may not be good in that area, but I'm very confident. And I don't think there's not a lot of things that can shatter my confidence. But the humbling situations like I've been through. Being banned from the radio. I've been from the radio in my area like 12, 13 years. Just personal politics, being arrogant, being a young, arrogant guy, you know, me now being able to take full responsibility of my involvement in the banning. Just being arrogant, being passionate. Sometimes we're passionate about our people and our people aren't passionate about us. And we become sacrificial lambs. Although we make moves feeling as this is the advancement of our people. When your people don't ride with you on those moves, you left out in the dust like, damn, like, you know, I did this for us. Is how you did me? So a few things, but I'm still here, bro. So it couldn't have been that bad. You know what I'm saying? It couldn't have been that bad. I'm still here. If you look at the losses and you learn lessons from them, it's not losses, especially if you apply the lessons. So through all my losses in life, man, I learned lessons. You know what I mean? And I may have been affected at that time because I was emotional and I dealt with things from an emotional point of view. And when you deal with things from an emotional point of view, you're erratic and you're not rationalizing the situation. So you may make an emotional decision. But that goes far to the psychological dichotomy of growing up in single parent homes and mothers and watching your mother respond to ways of things. And most men, we respond to ways of things like our mothers. It's crazy when you break it down to go that far into it. Like you acting like a woman, and it's not intentionally. I'm not calling you gay. I'm not trying to sex play you or nothing, but you watched your mother handle issues like this. So you feel like this is okay to handle issues like that. Like the average person nowadays, if you have a conversation with a man who doesn't have a father or didn't have a father present in his life, and sometimes you're chastising him of what he assumes to be. You could just be having a regular, normal man conversation with this man. But since he's never had a man in his life, he's feel like he's getting chastised, or he's feeling like you're demoting his pride. And emotional people are usually the most uninformed. So they're gonna act erratic. They're gonna act emotionally. So being young, just, acted emotional, man, on certain situations, but it was all lessons, and it's helped me to where I am nowadays, and I'm happy about it.
Without naming names, what was your best relationship, personal, like with a female, and in business?
What woman has played a significant role in my life?
What was your best relationship?
I don't know. It's my daughter's mom is a great woman. She dealt with a lot. I put her through a lot. This is a woman who went against her whole family for us to exist. A woman who grew up in a Jehovah's Witness home, and you deal with the scrutiny of that. If anyone that knows what it's like to be a witness growing up, it's very tough when you talk about wedlock, you talk about all these other things, and she risked all of that. And very supportive of my career early. And opened up my mind and the horizon of the importance of travel and things like that. She's a very worldly woman. And not saying of the world, but I mean a traveling woman. Very good woman. And will always remain a friend, even our turbulent relationship. Very good friend. But I won't say a multitude, but there are some significant women that have played a major role in the maturation of who I am today. Not saying it as if I'm just some misogynistic creep who sleeps around with several women, but I've had a nice amount of women in my life. But it wasn't just about sex. Some of them I've grown with, some of them I've matured with, some of them I've learned from, some of them have nurtured a side of me that wasn't always there, the side of me that I wouldn't open up to others. So when I think about it, there have been some very significant women in my life that I'm very thankful of. And at the time, I may not have done right by them totally. But while I'm still living, I have a chance to not only make amends, but make what can be right. I can't right my wrongs, but I can right new rights. And that's what it's about with me. And that's what growth is about. Being happy for someone, even if you're not the one that's creating their happiness, but also being thankful and being mindful of who was there for you when no one else was.
Who would you say, what was your best relationship in business?
I don't know. I didn't have any bad business relationships. You know what I'm saying? I'm still best friends with my best friend since preschool. So that just goes to, I don't sabotage relationships and friendships like that. Like, if we dogs, you my people. I've never fucked nobody intentionally. You know what I'm saying? With malice. And if I've ever done anything to anyone, they had it coming. You know what I mean? And not to say that from a vindictive point of view, but I never fucked anybody. So I still do business with people that I've been doing business with for years. The Gary Archers and, the people that have been there in the beginning of my career. I'm still rocking with them. I'm still cool with them. So, and that's how it is with me. You know what I mean?
What was your worst relationship, personal? Without mentioning names.
I don't know, bro. Everything's been a lesson,
I'm in business. Me being irresponsible, dealing with Jennifer Justice, and I know you didn't say no names, but I want to, every chance I get, I want to talk about Jennifer Justice. Jennifer Justice was my lawyer at the time. I had just signed to Atlantic Records. I signed a nice 6-figure deal. A young guy, and she's very important. Let's just fast forward to who Jennifer Justice is now. She's Jay-Z's personal lawyer. Like, and she's done everything for Jay, like since Reasonable Doubt. He's always had her in his corner doing things, and now I think she's maybe the head lawyer or head legal advisor over at Rock Nation or Live Nation. It's somewhere around there. That just goes to show the magnitude of what she represents and who she is. And I was about 24, 25. And she was she had took me on as a client for a favor from a friend. So she wasn't doing any, she wasn't in need of any work. She did I did a song for Baby Bash. And the song was with Pimp C. It was one of the last songs that Pimp C did. It was me, Pimp C, and Baby Bash. And the song was, it doesn't matter. That was the name of the record. Universal sent over the paperwork. I sent the paperwork to my lawyer, Jennifer, at the time. She signed it. She sent me an invoice for like $3,500. I'm a town nigga, man. I'm like, man, $3,500. I ain't gonna give her $3,500. All she did was sign this paper. The fuck? So my people like, yo, like, send her money, man. It's like, she worked this thing. I'm like, I ain't even get 30. What are you talking about? I ain't even get nothing really for this. Just being irresponsible and being young and being dumb, not realizing the power of her signature. I was like, man, I ain't finna pay her, man. I'll pay her when I feel like it. A couple months went by, and she sent another invoice, and I'm like, no, like, whatever. I had a conversation with a mentor of mine at the time, explained to me the importance of this situation. It was like, bro, you're not paying her $3,500 because she signed the paper. You're paying her because of what she represents and how important her signature is. That $3,500 is nothing. You're in $1 million situation with this woman, and you're in favor with her. If you fall out of favor with her, you'll see how important it is. Send her a check. She sends it back. You can keep your money. I don't want it. I'm like, yo, I got $10,000 for you. Let me send this to you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, fly to New York. I'm like, yo, I'm in New York. What's up? Well, what's she's like, you know what I mean? And I haven't got a chance to talk to her since. And it was a bad business move for me. But it was not understanding business etiquette. It was me being irresponsible and me just being young, dealing with the people that I had a history of dealing with, not understanding the infrastructure of industry business. And that was the bad business on my part. And that'll always be something on my mind until I'm able to make it right, and which I do plan to make it right one day, link up with Hov or something and be like, yo, man, call Jen, man, tell her to come through, man, I got her. But I always have a lot of love for her because she did do something for me at a time she didn't have to.
So what have you learned about relationships overall?
Relationships are very important. Relationships are imperative and pivotal in the success of someone staying in the positions or rising in the ranks or falling. One bad relationship can end everything. One good relationship can build everything. It's a melting point. And the melting point, as well as in the melting pot, it's a blend of everything. Where the radius and the diameter of it, it's like, how you meet in the middle. What's the nucleus? The nucleus is how much of a relationship do you have with this person? We can go to the same club. You could be a millionaire. I could be poor, but I know the bouncer. He's going to let me in. He's going to tell you when we have capacity. You know what I'm saying? People think relationships all is about money. It's not about that.
It's like you could talk about this homeless dude that's walking out on the street right here, and you could say something to him, but then you go to jail, you be locked up with him. This dude he the eldest member of the longest gang. And he like, I got your ass, huh? He buff now, he ain't on dope. He the man in there. He might be homeless on the street, but he the man in jail. So relationships are everything.
If you could go back and do it all over, is there anything that you would change?
You change one thing in life, you gotta change everything. I've accepted what I've done. I've accepted my errors. I've accepted all of the obstacles and everything that I've been through in this adventure. If you change one hand that you shook, life would be different. Because that hand that you shook that day took you home. Dude had a cold. You had a cold. Now you caught the cold from that hand. You stayed in the house that day. The day you stayed in the house was the day the block got shot up. The day the block got shot up got shot in the spot that you normally be. You would have got killed that day.
So what would have been different if you paid her that money, that 35?
I'd probably be rocking with Jay right now. That's how I look at things, but you know, it's life. But if I didn't, if I would have paid her, I wouldn't have learned the lesson. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have valued it. And I would have continued to make the same mistake.
All right. There's someone somewhere right now that's watching this, that's about to get on the journey that you done took you 50,000 miles down the road. They just getting on. You done passed all the potholes in the road. Which ones can you tell them to look out for? You know, so they can make it to where you got.
The biggest pothole is self. Because we can't see us coming. You know what I'm saying? We can't see us coming. So we have to be mindful of our actions. We have to be the due diligence of being a good person goes a long ways. Trying your best to stay true to your word, staying focused, the handling of people, being mindful of those who you slight. These all play a big role. Because to you, you may not have thought you slighted someone, but just because of the person that you are and the position that you're in, people are ultra sensitive. So the handling of people. We recently just lost someone that was of great contributions to not only hip hop, but to this world due to the mishandling of someone. And we lose several people like that. You know what I mean? So we got to be mindful of those things. The biggest pothole is self, because we don't get a chance to see us coming. We don't get a chance to see what we're becoming. That's why it's imperative that you only become what you became what you always wanted to become. And that's important to, you know, stay true to self.
What is your focus today in life and in business?
My focus today in life is being there for my daughter, for my children, and continuing to grow in business, continuing to make the contacts, resources with other people that are like-minded, to continue to keep growing, to expand and expound, to further our businesses, to learn the full concept of financial literacy, to be able not only to prevail with what we're doing, but to be able to teach others on how they can fully utilize the knowledge to help them excel in their businesses, their family. Many of us, we were only told to get money. We wasn't told what to do with it. We just said, get money. All right, nigga, I'm getting money. But what you doing with it, though? I've watched people with little make way more than those with lots, just based off the fact that they were able to invest, they were able to be frugal when it was time to be frugal, be all in when it was needed. And that's a big component that many of us aren't taught. We aren't taught. And these are the things that in business are key components to those that are successful and those that are stressed the fuck out. What up, world? This is Mr. Fab representing Oakland, California. We all have a story to tell and a lesson to learn. This is just my story. Yeah.
Joke, no joke. You know what it is. Still going, baby. Still going. That was beautiful. Yeah, that was one of the good ones. People. Let's get into the next one here. Midwest, stand up.
Yo, you can follow me on Instagram at Dre Butters 313. That's DREBUTTERZ. You can hit me on Twitter, on Facebook, all the same. Dre Butters, DREBUTTERZ 313. Checked in with Dre Butters. We all have a story to tell and a lesson to learn, and this is my story. Yo, this your man's Dre Butters, and this is my story from my city. Welcome to Detroit. I'm 37 years old, born and raised in Detroit, Michigan.
As a kid, what did you think you was going to be?
As a kid, I knew I was going to be a musician. Started off at like 5, beating on pots and pans, drums, keyboard. Both sides of my family pretty much did music, so yeah.
Did you grow up in a poor, middle class, or rich family?
I would say poor. I would definitely say poor. Some could say middle class because how it looked, because it can be an illusion sometimes. But yeah, we pretty much was broke.
All right. Did you grow up in a single or co-parent home?
Single home, raised by my mother. Yeah.
Was your father involved in your life at all?
Yeah, in and out at that time. Now more so full time, but yeah.
7 hours, so full time.
Yeah. I mean, he on call, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Do you think that affected your life in any way?
Oh yeah, majorly.
Can you give an example how?
Can I give a little backstory?
Yeah.
All right, so pretty much, you know how the mothers keep the child away from the father type situation. That's pretty much what it was. And then, you know, a bunch of other stuff occurred and time just went by. And then after I got older, I sought out to be with him, to get to know him. And then he kind of was like in and out, you know what I mean? But it affected my life tremendously because it was just a lot that I needed to know as a man, you know what I'm saying? As a growing man, I mean, which is, you know, relatable to anybody that's in that situation. But man, pretty much I just, I kind of was flipping out in school. I ain't had no direction as far as a male in my life. My mother did the best, you know what I'm saying? Best she could. I got kicked out of school, got kicked out of Detroit public schools, had to go to Macomb County schools, it's here in Michigan. Then I had to go to, I went to military school. That's where I actually graduated from, military school. So yeah, and then actually after school, when I was like 24, I went to Vegas, and it's like one of those movie type situations. I met a girl and got married out there, and then had no structure. You know what I'm saying? I just loved, you know what I'm saying? Just in love, you know what I mean? So moved her back here to Detroit, and we kind of just fell apart. Everything fell apart, lost it. And then that's when I went back in my mind like, man, if my dad was here to teach me how to be a husband, or how to, you know what I'm saying, how to do this, then I would, you know what I mean? So it kind of came back around, you know what I mean? But then I had to accept, like, you got to love everybody for where they are in their life too. You know what I'm saying? Because he's living and growing just like I am. So, you know what I mean? So yeah, so it affected me, definitely, for sure.
So what would you say to women that keep their kids away from the father or their sons away from the father just out of spite?
I would suggest them not to do it. You know what I mean? There's many different situations. You may have domestic situations to where, you know, they can't be around them or whatever it is, but I pretty much would tell all the women, especially our Black queens, to take it into consideration how it could have an impact on your child's life, not just today, but for the rest of their lives. You know what I'm saying? Give them that opportunity, give them that chance, and to have that in their life, because more of our society, we need to be trying to better this shit for real. I mean, I can cuss on it. Yeah, we need to be trying to better this shit for real. And I get it. A lot of these women are battered, abused, mental illness, all type of shit. You know what I'm saying? But that is definitely not the answer. So that's what I would say. Not the answer.
Your education?
I got to the high school.
And what was your first career choice?
First career choice was I was a minister of music at church. I think I was like 10, started at 10. Yeah, playing keyboard and piano. Pretty much did that.
At what age do you feel you became an adult?
30. 30. Yeah. 30? Just because we go back to, you know, the father thing. Pretty much, a lot of different people started to come in my life that were valuable to me and giving me information like, no, this ain't what a man, you know what I mean? No, this is what a man this is what a man does. You know what I'm saying? Especially like Mr. B&B, Peanut. Like he always like, no man, this is what you do: stabilize, protect. You know what I'm saying? Taught me about emotions. Like, cause you just living, just going, just like, oh yeah, no, this is energy. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, pretty much it was mentors coming into my life at that age, 28, 29. Yeah.
So at what age did you make the career choice that most people know you for?
Like seriously, it was like 27. I think I was like 27. Where I said I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna go to the top. Pretty much.
What were your early struggles pursuing it?
Couldn't pay the rent. You know what I'm saying? I stopped playing at church. I was playing at church for a majority of my life. That's where my income came from. So I stopped because my time was, I wanted to focus my time on learning how to create, engineer, write, everything. So just locked in. So it pretty much was, typical shit. Couldn't pay the light bill, water bill. And then in this city, it's like, got a lot of artists that are just doing this shit for fame. You know what I mean? So you would come across and yeah, man, we got hundreds of thousands of dollars, and then it's time to pay. It's like, man, can we get a discount, man? So I mean, yeah, pretty much those was my struggles. I mean, and then
overcome those struggles?
Pretty much I decided that it wouldn't be wise for me to make that anybody else's decision if I'm successful or not. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I just took responsibility for everything. Even if, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, well, I decided to be in the room with this person or wherever I'm at, where I decided to spend that money at the club last night. You know what I'm saying? I just pretty much went inward and started to just take responsibility myself.
Did you have anybody close to you that doubted you?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was a lot of people that I ran across that was like, no, this ain't gonna work. You should do this. You know what I'm saying? But I did have my mother supporting me, you know what I'm saying? But she's an evangelist in church, which gave me a lot of hope, because it was like, your son out here talking about strippers and shaking ass and all of that, and she's proud of this, you know what I mean, in the sense, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Who would you say was your biggest supporter?
Biggest supporter, I would definitely say my mom, for sure. My mom and my dad, both of them. Yeah.
What would you say is the highlight of your journey?
Highlight, man, it's so many. Well, when I got a call that I had a Chris Brown placement, record, beat, song, wrote. Huh?
Which album?
It was actually Snoop Dogg album. Snoop Dogg, Thank Me. I Want to Thank Me.
Right.
Yeah, I got that as Snoop Dogg and Chris Brown on there. Jazzy Faye, my partner Jupiter. We put it together, came out, I was just like, what? Chris Brown singing my shit? Like, it's phenomenal.
What was the worst moment of your journey?
Worst moment of my journey? I was on tour with Mr. B&B. He probably tell you the story. And I wanted to loosen up, so we ain't had no like cognac or nothing. I was performing at one of those schools in Alabama, one of those colleges in Alabama. And my homeboy was like, man, I got this popcorn, this weed popcorn. I was like, all right, cool. I'm sitting on the bleachers eating the popcorn, forgot it was edibles. I'm hungry, ate the whole entire bag. So this Peanut said this is my best performance ever. He said this is my best performance ever in life. So I was like, after the performance, it was great. It hit me like a ton of bricks. Everybody was against me. Everybody trying to kill me. I'm trying to get out the car while the car is running. I'm running down the street. They chasing me. I go to the hospital. I bust through the doors. The security attack me. I'm thinking like everybody is against me. My brain is just like everything around me is like everybody's against me. Go back to the to a hotel and it was, man, I'm gonna keep it short though, but it was 6 days. It was 6 days. I was fried for 6 days and I had no clue everything was real. You know what I'm saying? To me, everything, you know how it worked. So I'm like, it was real dark, man. It was real dark. Yeah.
Did you get any footage of that performance?
No, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, he said it was right. He said I was grabbing chicks' hands and going up to them, grabbing their face and serenading. I was like, what? No, facts.
Relationships. What have you learned about them?
I learned that first of all that they're valuable in any form, whether it's bad or good, because you can learn and take, you know what I'm saying, take from it to throughout your journey, you know what I'm saying? Yep, if I can go back and change anything in life, it would be, I would be definitely more aware of my thoughts, more aware, more conscious of what I'm actually thinking, my self-talk, because I learned that's your reality. What you think of yourself, you know what I'm saying? My self-worth, self-image, you know what I mean? I definitely would, which I'm teaching my kids now, so for sure. Okay. My style of producing, pretty much, I'm versatile, R&B driven, hip hop, pop, country, soul. Pretty much, I produce everything. Pretty much.
Do you sample?
Yeah. I'm sampling like more now because I'm really hooked on original music because I'm an actual musician. So, but yeah, for the sound, like now it's just popular. You know what I'm saying?
So who are some of the producers that you like, old and new?
I'm gonna say Kanye, Pharrell, Timberland. We'll go new now. I'm gonna say London on the Beat, Jazzy Faye, Swish Beats. Man, it's just so many, bro. So.
What artists do you like now?
Now I like her. Of course, Chris Brown. I like Young Thug. Who else? I mess with Moneybagg Yo. Shoot, I was even messing with Jeezy, T.I., Jay-Z. It's just, let's go on, man.
So who the new talent in Detroit right now that got a buzz that people outside of Detroit haven't heard of?
Yeah, shoot, right now it's like Babyface Ray, Sada Baby, Baby Money, Skilla Baby. There's a lot of babies.
I was gonna say, babies, God damn, man.
It's a lot of
babies out here. Ain't no more crying. Niggas gonna open up a nursery in hip hop. So, what's your goals moving forward in life and in business?
In life, I want to become a real estate entrepreneur, motivational speaker, master motivator. Pretty much starting my journey on that now. And then you said music-wise as well. Goals, I do want to acquire a Grammy. That's one of the goals. That's like the goal, you know what I'm saying? So, but I do want to also break artists that the world never heard of. I want to do that too. So, yeah.
How has the corona or COVID affected your life?
I mean, we was just inside. You know what I mean? I mean, I still was traveling, but it just wasn't the same as far as work. But life, my girl had got it one time, and it was weird not being able to, like, you know, interact with her. You know what I'm saying? And then I had to go take all the babies and the kids, and then it was just a horrible thing for the world to go through so many deaths and all that type of shit too. So that kind of just impacted me. Like, man, this shit real. You know what I mean? So you checked in with Dre Butters. We all have a story to tell and a lesson to learn, and this is my story.
Choke, no joke. You know what it is. Yo, y'all niggas with a stay DL. Down low. Stop flossing, man. Gee, you just want them niggas come and get you. Learn from our mistakes, man. That's what this is about. Learn from mistakes. Choke, no joke. Let's go. You already know. Make a love. Let's go. My aim was enlightened. Drop jewels on you. You thinking I'm jealous? I ain't got cheddar like you. I'm the dude to a game. You got school.
Choke, no joke. You already know. Man, what are y'all still doing up, man? Well, you know my West Coast people, it's still early. Choke, no joke. My story from my mouth marathon. Part 2 in the AM. I see y'all in the AM, all right? I'll be back. I hope y'all enjoyed this so far. I will be back, all right? Good night. Good idea, lady.
Check it out. Choke, no joke. Learn from mistakes. DJ S&S the Great. It ain't no telling you be a first-time felon. No telling when you be a first-time felon. It ain't no telling you be a first-time felon. No telling when you be a first-time felon. Best day of my life, no sleep all night. Broke day for weeks, my cash was right. My capo tight, take our loot, unite. 23-hour shifts, had to see loot like Mike. Cash, lovely, yeah, Dougie. How could this day get so ugly? Wifey bout to pop, like some bubbly. Yo, through those 9 months, you really bugged me. Felt like a star, cop first car. Get up with the guard, what it is, baby paw. Hip out the copper van, get up with our mans. Before we reached our low spot, toes blam. Unaware what happened, discussing the clapping. It wasn't loud, ain't shit gonna happen. Me being stupid, instead of getting it moving, this nigga kept chefing like the woo one. Then we heard a knock, no one knew of this spot. 6 niggas in the spot, 6 niggas knock. Ain't no telling you be a first-time felon. No telling when you be a first-time felon. It ain't no telling you be a first-time felon. No telling when you be a first-time felon. It ain't no telling you be a first-time felon. No telling when you be a first-time felon. I'm in the precinct all damn even. This good cop, bad cop shit got me steaming. No, I was caught, I ain't give a fuck. Had jokes like the usual suspects line up.